Alrighty, so last we left off, you guys had been preparing for this gala, this ball that you had been invited to. The invitation being handed to you by a very strange man who seemed to know all of you a little too personally and seemed to have a little bit of foresight into some terrible disasters that had happened shortly thereafter. Um, but you all kind of inspected the envelope, and it said it was an invitation to a gala at the Jade Coast. Aglar and Quarterly did some research into it, and they came up with nothing. So this place obviously was sequestered away somewhere. Um, as you all prepared for the night, got new outfits, and kind of, got ready for the gala, Mr. Lord Remem said he also wanted to come as well. Um, seeing as how this is kind of his element, political kind of parties and things of that nature. So hesitantly, you all agreed, and eventually, you guys went through, held the envelope up to the full moon as it said to do, and you all entered through the portal. Um, you were met by this absolutely enormous event hall, intricately designed with like marble and these like marble pillars with like wonderful carvings all over them. All sorts of like uh, trees and plants and things like that hanging down from like the ceilings, not in like an invasive way, but a very nice decoration. They have like these large kind of like palm tree plants in the corners and things like that. Um, the event was an event being run by Theo's Ring, the organization that seemed like it was after Lumen for some unknown reason. But um, regardless of that, uh, you all got to meet some interesting figures. You met Glenn, who said he was sort of the treasurer of the organization, and he kind of had a long talk with Jakar and Lumen, making it known that not only was Lumen involved in this now, but the rest of the group was as well, as you've all just randomly invaded what was supposed to be a very secure event. And though he wanted you all to have a good time, he made it very clear that all bets were off afterwards. He did give Jakar and Lumen a sort of ultimatum or an opportunity. He said if you can procure 10,000 gold or something in equivalent value to it, then he will call off the sort of witch hunt that he has going on. But otherwise, examples need to be made for those that cheat out the organization, understandably, as the way as it goes. Meanwhile, Quarterly, Rune, and for a time Aguilar were looking into another figure that was here, Mabel Curat, the supposed to be arranged wife of Lord Remem originally before he fell in love with another, who was Quarterly's mother. Um, through a little bit of a chase, you guys kind of pursued her and didn't really get to talk to her too much as she was very put off guard by you all. But you saw her going down back into the event hall from the outside. You guys got to go to the different floors. Meanwhile, Aglar saw a couple figures that he recognized, one of which he was not expecting to see. So Lord Remem, or not Remem, sorry, he's there too, but Lord Trebane and High Seeker Lazul, um, who seemed to be like a leader of Aglar's people who was there. It seemed like she was there on a mission that she wanted Aglar to help with. Um, as you guys were kind of talking and sizing that up, Calda had a figure from her past that was also seemingly there that just abruptly approached her and dumped a lot of information on her before quickly leaving or departing into the crowd. And I believe we left off where dinner was about to be had. Or had dinner already been? No, yeah, dinner was about to be had, and Glenn was leading Jakar and Lumen down to collect the rest of their friends so that they could get a table. But I suppose we will pick up with. I was going to do Aglar, but kind of ties into Calda's thing, so she's not here. I can't really do that. We will do I guess we'll hop back to Quarterly and Rune. As you guys are walking out onto the ground floor, the big crowd, you can finally see as the sort of dinner is announced and everyone is starting to file in. You see um, Mabel, her kind of. There's a lot of different walks of life, a lot of different people here, but her especially with her just flaming curly hair, it's very easy to see. You see her kind of pushing her way through the crowd, just kind of moving about.
Rune will lean into Quarterly and whisper. Well, not really having to whisper, but do you want me to go around behind and cut her off in case she tries to go out front again?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay. Rune will kind of dip into the crowd if she can and just go around, give a wide berth, and like kind of cut her off from behind.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Okay. I will make a stealth check. If D&D Beyond left. Please, oh please. I feel like this is the story of my life, just waiting for D&D Beyond to load for me.
If you want, I can roll like a simple d20 for you, and you can just add whatever if it takes too long.
11.
11. Okay. Let me see.
Wide berth. Wide.
Yeah, you're given a pretty wide berth, and you about halfway as you're moving around, you see if she like looks through the crowd and then does a double take and sees you and stops.
Just if she sees that, she'll just kind of hold up her hands, just like, hey, not trying anything.
Hey, it's me again.
Not talking directly to her, but just kind of like holding her hands and like not gonna attack.
Maybe while she's focused on her, maybe I'll approach from the front.
Yeah, as you see, like you're trying to like she sees you, Rin, and then she like turns to look forward and sees Quarterly approaching. She kind of pauses for a moment. You see her kind of just like looking between the two of you, and then like almost like trying to figure out like what she's gonna do here. And then she looks up and she sees a Glyn kind of above on the balcony, Glyn, Jakar, and Lumen. They look like they're pointing to you guys, and then as they go to come down, she kind of, you see her tense demeanor kind of relaxes a bit as she sees that he's nearby, and she just stops in the crowd and waits.
Oh boy. I guess seeing Quarterly approach, Rune will approach too, just keeping her hands open, not showing her she's not gonna shank her at the next movement. Yeah.
I'm showing her I have no weapons, I guess, in my hands. Is she saying anything while we approach, or is she just chilling?
No, she's just staring at both of you. It just looks just kind of standing off the she kind of moves off to the side of the crowd a bit away from like the bulk of everybody and just stands there for a moment. So that it's there's more like space for you guys, so you're not like huddled shoulder to shoulder with people anymore.
Yeah.
Are there like servants that have like, I don't know, like what's it called? Like with the drinks on top of it, like holding out drinks.
Yeah, there are.
I would grab 2 drinks, approach her, and hold out 1 drink to her, and look at her, and just say, "Not here to hurt you, just to talk."
Couldn't hurt me if you tried. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about your mistress.
Mistress?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I am just here to talk. There's no mistress.
Figures.
Definitely not anyone that tries to kill you here.
She looks to Rune. She goes, "What did she not tell you?"
What are you... Tell me what?
She answers to somebody from the Hells. Her patron. She's tied to her just like me.
just kind of raise an eyebrow at that and look over to Quarterly.
Cordelie's like looking to the side, chugging her drink.
Rin will just slowly nod. Well, I guess even if that's so far since I've been with her, she's only done good.
Is
That
that
I'm
right?
aware of.
Yeah, that you're aware of. That's the key trick.
I'm gonna like step in between them. It's not about her. It's about you.
What
How?
about me?
How are you tied to her? And what did you do to my mother?
I assumed your father would have been able to figure that out. Is he here as well?
My father is none of your business.
Ah,
At
so
least
he is here
not
then.
anymore.
Why would you bring him to a place like this? The man has no skills, no means to protect himself.
What? How does she know I'm lying? Like, that's crazy.
You said, is he here? He said, oh, he's none of your business. So she kind of just assumed.
Okay.
In any case,
Well,
I don't know what you're trying to do. Come get revenge for your late mother or something? Let me
I'm not.
guess. She came to you asking you, oh, do you want to get revenge? I will give you the power to do so. With her
You
honeyed
really think
words.
you're so smart, aren't you? Like, you really think everyone works like you. Maybe you tried to get vengeance on her, but I am not here for vengeance. I'm here for answers.
Hmm. Well, you'll have to wait to get them then. And she looks up and gestures as you see Jakar, Lumen, and Glenn approaching. You see Glenn is like, you are friends of Mr. Evenfold here, are you not?
That's right.
I think I saw you two in the lift. You had a third with you. Uh, we were going to grab a table, unless you already have one grabbed. Would you like to sit down and eat together?
Rune's not very good at this, but can I try some insight here? Does it seem like they're gonna try and pull anything?
Insight check.
Okay.
What the fuck is with the
What is
advertisements?
climate?
There's
I just wanted to say,
there's
talking.
advertisements there's advertisements in fucking bots now. I don't know why they do that. That's absolutely
Guys?
wild to me.
I've not rolled above a 10 in like days. I rolled a 9.
9.
Okay.
He seems very upfront with his intentions
We can
as far
trust
as you
this
can
man.
tell.
I'm kidding. She doesn't say. She'll just kind of give a nod and look to Quarterly. Maybe it might be best to ease tensions here for a second.
Cordelie would have had her fist like clenched and then also like slowly let go and just roll her eyes. Fine. Dinner sounds absolutely lovely.
Please, if you'll follow me this way, it's, the second floor is where the majority of the seating is. We should probably hurry so we can get a good seat. As he
Oh,
kind of looks and he
finally.
sees more people kind of faltering in. What do you say, Jakar?
Oh, finally, I've been starving.
Yes, I know you seem like quite a handy individual in terms of devouring things. And he kind of like looks. Jakar, did you clean up? Did you clean off your face after you bit into the ogre, or is it still just covered in blood? No, you guys just see
No.
Jakar just covered in like just
Uh,
blood on
I mean,
his
we
face.
kind of heard about it through.
Yeah,
Liz,
yeah.
But so Rune's just gonna like look them over, just like look bewildered for a moment, but not comment on it.
But he'll lead you all forward. It's a little bit too fast paced for what's going on here. So
This is
let me,
Swan Lake.
I like it.
let's see here.
I promise it's not another cat. Don't worry.
Saw that. All right. As you guys head um, upstairs, following him up the lift, there's like a long line of people that are waiting to use the lift, and thankfully it's a very quick up and down, up and down, so it's not terribly long for you to wait before you get up to the second floor. You can see here it's already pretty sizably packed in here, and um, there it takes you a little bit, but eventually you find where your father, Lord Remem, has kind of stationed himself here. Um,
Mm.
he has gotten a pretty large table, managed to kind of secure like a nice spot that's off in a corner, not too terribly like cramped or uh, too close to any of the other tables around it. So you got to kind of have a wide berth from everything. Place to have some private conversations if you'd like. Um, you see, Glenn kind of is like looking around. He's like, so, where should we sit? We have quite a few people. You have some others that are straggling behind as well, right?
Sorry, can you repeat that? What did he say?
You, where would you like to sit? We have some more that are coming, right? You have a couple others in your merry group that are not too far behind.
Who exactly is missing? Aglar and Kalda, right?
Aglar and
Yeah.
Kalda are still downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can make some space for our acquaintances. I am just gonna take a seat next to my father, I guess.
Oh, okay. So as you walk over, he's like, "Oh, okay. You already have a table. Understood. Very well." And because obviously he doesn't know really know what your father
Yeah.
looks like.
Oh
So he
yeah, I would
walks
just say
over.
we have a reservation already if you'd follow me.
Sure. He approaches the table and he's like, "You must be Lord Remem of Juvenlord, right?" And he kind of holds out a hand, and your father just kind of stands up and nods and says, "Yes, yeah, that is me. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mister." He goes, "You can just call me Glenn. This is sort of my abode, if you would, or event hall, however you want to refer to it. But I hope you're all having a good time." He says, "I have not had much time to mingle much time as I would like, but I imagine my daughter and their friends have been hopefully enjoying themselves." As he kind of glances over to Jakar's face.
I'm scarfing shit down.
Well, there's no food at the table yet, but
I'm still scarfing that other neck piece down.
Well, it
um,
indeed is a lovely celebration that you've got together here.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Uh, he kind of looks off to his side, and you see Mabel is just glaring at your father, and your father is kind of just like shifting uncomfortably. He's like, "I sense there is something here I'm not picking up on. Uh, Perhaps I will go fetch us some drinks before dinner is served. What is everybody's beverage of choice?"
Something strong. The
We
strongest.
we certainly have that. Okay, I will be right back. And you see, he just kind of like like ooh like smile as he kind of just like walks away. um, um, he goes off to fetch the drinks. So now at the table it is just Lord Remem, Rune, Quarterly, and uh, Mabel. We'll say Lumen went with Glenn for the time being.
Is Jakar just eating? Like, is he just?
There is no
Right.
food yet. He's just. I
Oh,
No,
imagine
okay.
he's trying to like clean his face off, or if he had remains
yeah.
from the fucking ogre. I don't know. He's just.
I'm still chewing on that piece of neck. It's a pretty tough piece of meat.
I guess Rune will sit on the other side of Lord Remem just to kind of like keep both his sides covered here, so Mabel doesn't sit there or something.
So nice evening.
The decorations are very bright
Right.
Still living in your high castle in Druvenlo, you pompous pig?
Oh, good. We're starting strong.
Your father kind of
Coralie
straight.
starts laughing.
Your father kind of straightens up. He's like, "Yes, I am still at the same estate since I was. I see you've been keeping well, mingling with the wonderful types." Gestures around. Well, I do not have a choice but to be here. This is really the only place on Exandria truly safe from prying eyes. Hmm. Well, I
Cordelie is
suppose that's a
so uncomfortable right now.
suppose that's a different change for you and once in your life. You're not the center of attention lighting up the room. The perhaps your daughter here seems to have the wrong impression about me and about what's been going on. It also seems like she's been hiding some things from her friends, so maybe now is the good time to sort of let the proverbial cat out of the bag.
I don't know what you're trying there, Mabel, but there's nothing I'm hiding. You can spin your lies all you want, you can tell stories all you want, but it's just that. Stories.
So
But how
you're
about
saying
you
you're
come out
not.
with the truth?
You say you're not tied to the same woman that's the same fiend that I am, the same one that I'm sure your father knows about.
Well, I
You can
am
tell
tied
by
to
the.
something that turned me into this when I was born, something that killed my mother, that somehow ties back to you, yes? And I would like to know why.
Kind of. She looks. She looks to you. And she's like, "Well, actually, first of all, make a persuasion check."
Cordelie's like starting to get really mad. She wants her to shut the fuck up about this mistress. Oh shit! I rolled a 10.
A 10.
Yes.
She's like, I don't have any assurances that your mistress is not listening in on this conversation. What can you give me as proof?
Uh, what proof? What? I don't know what to. What do you want as proof? No one's
I
listening
want an assurance that she is not seeing through your eyes right now.
in. Like, close my eyes. I don't know what you want to hear. I don't know what to say. Wait, let me think for a second.
Kind of take a look on the inside, Corley, like just kind of feeling for her presence that you can feel, and you realize that right now that she's mentioning it, now that you're talking about it, you can't feel her.
Okay. I would just look her. I didn't know that I could do that. Okay, but I would just look her in the eye and just say, there's no one but us, the people here at the table. You have my word, if that means anything.
Coming
But
from
that's
a
all I can
mem?
give.
No, it does not mean anything.
I mean, you
Damn.
are still so stuck up on this little love story that you apparently had with my father.
There was no love between us. She looks across the table to him. I was going
Maybe not
to
two-sided.
I was going to use your father's wealth to get out of the hellhole that I was raised in, and he cut off the wedding last minute. It is
So
not my fault that I found true love. I'm sorry that you have not found the same for you. Of course, I can't find true love or whatever the hell you're talking about. As long as this lady is tied to me, tied to you and your family, none of us will find happiness.
you are the reason she's tied to us.
Is that what you think? Is that what she told you?
Well, that's what I'm here to find out.
You're you think your father, the stoic businessman of Druvenlow, just had a guilty pleasure with a gardener one night? It would, you think he just suddenly just happened to change his mind, sort of ruin a business venture for his family? Really? The great Lord Rumem, the one that is all about business, suddenly had a lapse in judgment and chose somebody else over a business venture, over a arranged marriage that would bolster your family?
Well, even a cold heart can turn warm if they fall in love. Is that not so? And she
Yes,
looks at her father.
a cold heart can turn very warm when it is interlocked with a being from the hells. Your father, I think you've spoken more than enough, Flammable.
No, I think she should keep talking. It sounds pretty interesting what she has to say.
Quarterly, you yourself said that there were some lies at play here. I don't think you should feed into her anymore.
I don't know, suddenly I kind of got the urge to want to listen to some stories, some adventures like those from my books that I was forced to read because I couldn't have them my own, because I couldn't leave, ever. So some stories sound really good right now.
Your mother, she was also an agent of the Lady of the Fourth, as they call her, one of her titles. It is her game, her amusement. She interlocks, ties people together, and ruins all of people's lives involved for her own amusements, deception, trickery. That is all she does.
So,
Your beautiful, innocent gardener of a mother was just like you and me. Apparently, she did something that your mistress didn't like.
so the reason I am like this is because of my mother.
Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to say. I mean, I did curse your father. I wished him nothing but the worst. I grew up being conditioned to be nothing but an exotic pet. People see a genasi in a empire full of humans, and they think it's all of my rights, rights that are given to those that sentient beings are just out of the window because I look differently, because my hair shines brighter. I was treated as nothing more than. She kind of pauses and looks at you, quite like how I'm hearing you've been treated. Locked away, not allowed nothing. You have to dress the best, just be the yes ma'am for whatever anybody wanted. And finally, I saw my moment. Well, at least I thought I did. When she came to me, she offered me power, means to take what I wanted, to get out of this awful situation. And just like that, a few weeks later, the marriage was starting to be arranged. I knew I could hopefully get some wealth and make a better life for myself, even if it was being married to a fat, disgusting old man who I had no interest in.
So, this marriage was not because you were in love with him, and she was the one that spun the wheel from the beginning.
You mean she? If you mean the one you answer to, then yes. She kind of grabs your hand and looks very seriously at you. You just has this grip as hard as she can on your hand. She's like, I don't know what you plan to do after you leave this place. You probably won't last long if you've made enemies of Theo's ring. But if you can find a way to break this pact that you have made with her, I will do everything in my power to help you. Because I want to be rid of this woman for good.
She's looking at her, and then she's looking at her father. Like, what is this expression?
Just like sadness, like sorrow. Just kind of looking down at the table.
How do I know this was not just another lie? Another game?
She gestures to your father. You could see it written all over his face.
So, you knew all along, and she looks at her father.
I did not know that your mother was tied to this being, or Mabel here, until a little later on. Your mother...
But you knew!
Your mother had done away with the whole thing. She had made a pact with this being long before we had met, and was trying to find a way out of it, was trying to get rid of her, and she warned me that this would probably result in her death.
And you made me believe all these years that it was someone else's fault. But you knew exactly what was going on.
I didn't want you to think ill of your mother. She only wanted what was best for you.
She did not care about me. So have you. You have never cared. You have lied. You have treated me like the biggest piece of garbage all of my life. And she's like getting up, slamming her hands on the table. You are nothing to me. I've tried to impress you all my life. I've tried to find out why I am like this, how I can be better for you so you don't see me as this monster that you made me out to be. But you are nothing. To be quite fair, I feel like she's the only one that actually saw my potential. And maybe it's good. Maybe it's good that she is with me now. And then Cardley's just gonna storm away from the table.
You see, he was like getting ready to say something, but as you walk away, he just sighs and just kind of like looks down at the table. Mabel is just sitting there, just slowly shaking her head. She looks to you, Jakar and Rune, table, and says, "If he gets in your head, she is a master of spinning her own story. Your friend here is already turning against her own family. However fucked up her family may be, but you need to try and reason with her before she completely loses herself."
Just kind of a slow nod. She's just kind of been like holding her cup with like both hands this whole time, trying to like not butt in and like keep out of the way of the just a nod.
We're kind of speaking in codes as well. Like, who's she? What are they talking
Yeah.
about?
Lost on who they're talking about.
I love the drama. Sorry. I had to be dramatic and storm off.
This is how she starts. She gives a little give, a little take, makes you think she's on her side, and then before you know it, she's having you commit atrocities in her name. You don't even think twice. You've been led to think this is the correct way.
So
And if you turn her down, there's no coming back from it. That is why I originally thought you two were here, was to kill me so that my soul would be dragged down to the hells, forever tormented. And the same will happen to your friends back there if you don't fix it. if she dies, she's not going to get a seat as a right-hand woman or something, or applauded for her hard work. She'll be used just like a toy horse to a child. Nothing more than something to be absconded with when she gets bored.
Rune will just think back to how she was told the exact same thing will happen to her if she dies, but with Baphomet. So at that, she'll give another nod and stand up and go after Quarterly.
Soulmate.
Um,
Jakar. Sorry.
No,
He's
Jakar.
just sitting there. Sorry.
Second time. This is second.
I think Rune has this. I might just. Where's the food? Oh,
I love that. Sorry. That's
Hello,
so
sir. I
cute.
hope you're having a wonderful time. I'm here to
oh,
take your order. What sort of food would you like tonight?
just, what's the
You see
biggest
this
portion
like
that you have?
you see this like one of those like wooden like guards like coming up, just kind of like looking down at you with like a smile, like just kind of across their face. They have like a little like parchment in their hand and like a quill ready to write.
You have like a rare steak.
Of course, a rare steak.
Yeah.
How large were you thinking?
What's the biggest portion that you could get? You know.
Well, quite large, I can assure you. Probably larger than this table if we really wanted to.
You know what? I think. It's like mountains like water. I think you get out. Yeah.
Is that what you want?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Sure. What about the rest of you? It's just kind of looking the rune and Lord Remem at the table.
I think Rune left the table as
Yeah,
well.
left the
Yeah.
table.
She looks to Lord Remem and he just goes, I am suddenly not very hungry. You see, Mabel kind of looks up and says, "Ah, you can just get a steak and the mashed potatoes and green beans for everybody here. There's supposed to be more, but imagine they're going to be filtering in on their own time." Certainly. Well, we'll get that right away. Thank you very much. Thank you, Miss Karat. As he kind of like nods to her, and there seems to be a little bit of like a like respecting authority nod as he nods to Mabel. And she just kind of gives a little bit of a nod back. Um, uh, she or we're going to cut back over to Calda and Aglar here real quick. The two of you are, this would be happening a little bit before dinner was served. So you guys would kind of be downstairs. Calda, you are still reeling from just all the information that you were kind of told about. And you're just kind of standing there and close to the band, just processing what in the world Finnan was talking about, seeing as how like your family is in some contract or some sort of danger that they cannot get themselves out of. They're just, as he said, slaves to contractually obligated slaves is essentially what he said. And Aguilar, you're still kind of looking over at this kind of long black-haired woman, just impeccable posture, this human woman, kind of like paler skin and these just very intense, like cobalt colored eyes. You see as she's just kind of like talking with somebody and kind of laughs a little bit. And she steps off to the side and you watch as she just like very subtly casts a spell. And you see like her eyes kind of are like enchanted with this like strange magic. She kind of looks around, and you watch as suddenly her head snaps over in Caldo's direction. You see her eyes glance down to Caldo's hand, and she smiles as the magic dissipates, and she starts walking in Caldo's direction. You hear in your head, you hear High Seeker Lazul's voice. I don't know what she's doing, but we should tail her as quietly and as inconspicuously as we can manage.
All right. I'll start like heading Calda's way, sort of if I can like kind of like parallel her without like directly following her.
Okay. Are you trying to get to Calda first, or are you just like
No, I want to put myself in a position where I'm watching her, but like if you're imagining, I kind of want to be. I'm obviously gonna be further back.
Oop, you cut out for a second there.
Between this woman and Calda, so I can see them both. Oh, I was just saying, I just want in a way where I can see both of them. So I'm kind of trying to like trail, but kind of between Calda and this woman.
Sure enough. Yeah, easy enough to do as you kind of interpose yourself. You see as she walks over, Caldo, you're still reeling from this information before you hear a, excuse me, I don't believe we've met. My name is Per Litchford. I'm sort of representative of the Dwendalian Empire. And what was your name, miss? She holds her hand down to you.
It's Galda Teacloak. Why do you ask?
Ah, Miss Teacloak. Well, I'm just going around introducing myself to everyone, and you just seem to be a very interesting individual. I mean, you're sort of standing over here by yourself. I didn't want anyone to feel left out or feel as if they're not having a good time. It is quite an event, and I just wanted to ensure that everyone was, sort of keeping
I
merry.
suppose I just got a bit of news, and I'm just trying to process it more than anything. Because she looks a bit pale.
I am terribly sorry to hear that. The tea cloaks, you said. I
That's
imagine
right.
the rest of you are like Kenters as well, right?
So I've heard, but this is my first hearing about it.
Oh, I believe I've had some run-in with some tea cloaks before, if I'm remembering correctly. Where's your home at?
I do know that she would answer, but I can't remember her answer right now.
Didn't you say Icehaven? I think maybe not. I feel like I remember you mentioning Icehaven, but you can just throw in.
Rose.
Huh?
She spent a lot of time around Pride's Call and
Pride's Call.
Heroes.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's also in the Empire. So if you wanted to do Pride's Call,
Well, I spent a time around Pride's Call. I mean, I've been a Druid Lord more than once.
oh, Pride's Call. Yes, very predominantly
We're traders
dwarven
by
settlement.
nature, so we spend a lot of time on the roads, I suppose.
Oh yes, I've met a number of your family, I believe. I'm trying to. Their names escaped me. Just give me a moment while I try and recall, because the tea cloaks definitely sounds familiar, but was. You see, she's kind of like thinking for a second. She's like, Tilla? Grandma?
You mean my grandma?
Yes.
What were you doing speaking to my grandma?
I just, like I said, I've just met tea cloaks in my travels. I'm a representative of the Rendalian Empire. Pride's Call is obviously within the Empire, and I happened to pass through there.
Spin you a yarn, did she?
No, she was quite pleasant to speak with. I believe I met her and a couple others of your family. There were
Are they here?
No. I don't believe. As far as I know, she kind of like looks
her
around.
face falls. She looks so much.
She's like, no, I think it was your cousins are the Toss Cobbles as well, right?
Yeah, I've seen Finnan around. I don't know if any more of the
You
family are here though.
you say that, and you look over past this woman, and you see Finnan is just pale faced, looking between you and the woman.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to, if I'm able to, I was kind of waiting for a break. Can I try and like, I don't know, like wave at Calder, like try to like signal her in some way?
Yeah, you as you see Finnan, you look over and you see Aguilar, who is kind of nonchalantly trying to mingle in, like looking over at you, trying to signal you.
If you'll excuse me a moment, I think one of my associates is looking for my attention. It was nice to meet you anyway. She
Oh,
holds out a
of
hand.
course. Take care. Nice meeting you, Mrs. T Cloak. Kind of seems a bit confused as she watches you. Are you just walking right over to Aguilar?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want to
Calder's
like
confused.
turn away as she walks, just so like it'll be a little more subtle when she comes
The
over.
giant clunky guy in fucking metal
Yeah,
armor
yeah,
trying to be
this is gonna be
stealthy. It's
great.
so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll say make a stealth or performance check, your choice, as you're trying to like blend in with the crowd. You said you rolled a 10?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay. You watch as Calder's coming over to you. You turn away from her, and then like as you kind of look back as Calder approaches, you see the woman is kind of tilting her head, kind of has like a curious smile on her face before she looks like she's about to make your way over to you as well. But you have a moment
Oh,
or two before she
wonderful.
approaches with Calder there.
What exactly is the matter?
Calda, this is a very dangerous woman who I need to try to get some information from, but she's coming this way, so just be careful speaking with her.
Mrs. Ticklow, I didn't know you associated with the individuals of Malatsmere.
Well, I tried to explain before, but our people like to travel around. I've met all kinds of folks. But
No,
you'll
no,
never do better than the tea cloaks. And she winks.
so they've told me that they're quite a group. I don't believe we met, sir. I'm Para Litchford. Pleasure to meet you. She holds her hand out to you, Aguilar.
Aguilar, I'll, I guess, shake her hand.
Okay. She kind
Yeah.
of smiles, like gentle, kind of. I believe that's how I spelled it. I'll have to check my notes, but she kind of smiles and shakes her hand. She's like, "What? You're the second person from, I believe, Melasmere that I've seen here. What's the occasion? I took it that your people were usually reclusive."
Well, yes, usually we are, of course. It is just quite a coincidence that two of us have ended up here. I'm afraid I'm here on some other personal matters with some of my travel companions. To be honest, this is well, I'm not even all too sure where here is.
Oh, we've arrived. This is the Jade Coast. It is a very, very large, heavily magically influenced demiplane, from what I've picked up.
Hmm.
Is organized by this organization known as Theo's Ring. They're sort of like if you want to get sort of cliche, I guess you would call them the big shadowy sort of person pulling the puppet strings on the other sort of uh, more front-facing criminal syndicates.
Well, that's quite the claim.
Is this a place you frequent often?
No, it is actually my first time, but I was just here to speak with others and perhaps get some more information. Uh, Speaking of which, and she kind of looks down to Calda. She's like, "That ring, I couldn't help but notice it from across the room. What was quite an interesting piece. Do you happen to know where you bought that?"
Bought it? No, ma'am. This is a treasure of mine from way back in the day. I was struggling with the whole merchant gig, you know, and I just thought I'd try a little bit of dungeoneering myself. And well, there I was in the ruins of Shattengrod, and there were this pieces in the ground which looked peculiar to me, and so I took them. I did, and when you know they're in my finger now, and I have not the foggiest understanding why.
Kattengrad, of course. No, that makes so much sense. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, I appreciate you telling me that. I've actually met another individual with a similar predicament. A close associate of mine, I suppose you could say.
Oh, do tell! I do love a good story.
Oh, some things, of course, as I said, I'm a representative of the Dwendalian Empire. Some things need to be a little bit, I guess you would say, classified. But
I understand.
rest assured, you have a very fine piece there that is
I
much,
appreciate it.
much more interesting than you may initially have thought.
Well, that's why I took it, you see, because I had a feeling that it might be interesting. So I did take it. So I appreciate that. People used to tell me it was worth it. They said, Calda, why are you taking that off the ground? And I said, it looks interesting, and it did. So I appreciate you saying that.
Interesting. Well, no, they were certainly incorrect. That is quite a piece you've got there. But I appreciate you sharing that information with me. Schottengrad, that was a place that I have overlooked. Perhaps I will look into it further.
Of course, of course. I recommend it, but take a good crew with you. It's quite the adventure.
Oh, of course. I mean, not that the Empire really has much crew to left nowadays, unfortunately, with the most recent events. I try to keep it off my mind, but the politics just come whirling back. With every conversation, you know how it is.
Yes, did you happen to be anywhere nearby during the latest events? We're trying to figure out what exactly happened ourselves.
No, thank goodness I wasn't. I know I was with my associate. I sort of provide protection for them. And
Oh, are they
thankfully
here
they
as
are.
well?
No, 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 no. I would not dare take them to a place such as this. Well, in any case, I appreciate you all for the brief conversation, and I bid you a wonderful evening. I think I'm going to make my way upstairs and perhaps try some more of this, some of the food they're talking about, because from what I hear, it's very lovely, all the sort of meals they prepare here.
See you around, Bear. I'll catch you
Certainly.
later.
Perhaps we'll see you later.
Likewise, Aglar, Mrs. Decloak. You watch as she just walks off, just making her way through the crowd.
Calda, is that really where you found this ring? I don't think we've had a chance to talk about it yet.
Well, life before you, didn't I? I don't have to tell you everything I did.
Of
'Cause
course, of
frankly,
course.
we'd be here a while.
Well, if this is something that this woman is interested in, well, just be sure to keep a very close eye on it.
I'm keeping as close as I can to something that's inside of my skin.
Yeah, for now. Everything is like, can I sense if it's still with Calda after having shaken this woman's hand and
Yeah,
everything?
you look down, it's there, and it seems
Oh, okay.
you still have
So
that
far,
hand is
like
gone.
sense about it. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
fucking
The hand is gone,
pulls
yeah.
a King Crimson from JoJo. He's just in the elevator holding the girl's hand for one moment, and then the next moment he's just holding the severed hand.
This'll be handy.
um,
Alright, well, I don't know much about this. Perhaps I'll explain this somewhere a little more private, but I need to find out some more about this woman.
Well, you could have asked her, no?
I don't think she's going to just tell me the things I'm hoping to
Would I
find
get your
out.
back, Aglar? I could probably tease a thing or two. She seemed like a nice woman.
Yeah, certainly. You definitely are a little better at the whole speaking thing than I am, but regardless, well, I'm going to be needing to keep an eye on her. Hopefully I can get some more before the night is done.
I meant to ask you about that. Are you gonna tell me why? Just
Can I look?
looks to him.
Yeah. I either want to be in like a secluded place or a really crowded place to tell her. But so if I have to pull her one way or the other, I will. But after having done that, yeah. So, have you seen the other woman here who looks like me? Don't have to be
I
obvious
don't
about it, but
know.
okay. Well, I am. Well, my people. How to explain this? I'm from a group back in my homelands that
Right, a
we
group.
we train in magic and
Magic group. Got
through
it.
the use of like enhancing our powers one way or another. I have done so with my suit of armor.
Okay.
After the destruction of our homelands and things, my group is seeking to see that nothing like this ever happens again, and we look to
Ah,
try to stop those who misuse their magic or try to get magic from darker powers and things. And I have, well, this woman who's here is actually someone very important, and she's informed me of the need to get more information on this woman. I have an inkling that, regardless of what she may have said, she's likely involved with the explosion that we saw and other atrocities attributed through magical means. And well, I don't know much yet, but that's I was hoping to get more information from her at some point, but not at the expense of my group. And I saw from across the room she cast some sort of spell and then was almost immediately fixated on you. I think it is the ring. She may be after it. She may be after something similar, but it was no coincidence that she came over to speak with you.
interesting. And I thought it was my charming personality. What a hag.
Well, anyways, it would not surprise me in the least if she is trying to take the ring at some point tonight and do God knows whatever else to you to try and get it. So I may have to.
Maybe we should find the others, Aglar.
Yeah, exactly. Might be beyond my abilities here. It might be good to try to
Do you
speak
know
with
which
some
way
of
they
them.
went?
We were kind of playing this game of hide and seek with this woman up and down the lifts. I don't recall. Last I came down here to the floor, I saw this. I believe they were going back up the lift, but I'm not sure to which floor. But surely we can find them. It can't be that hard to find our ragtag group.
If you find us somewhere I could cast a spell, I might be able to find them. Maybe. But I don't know how well that will be received here.
Alright, well, I just may need to speak with the woman. Her name is Lazel. She should I may wish to tell her about the ring, if you don't mind. It certainly seems that might be what this other woman is after. Perhaps we could even use it in a manner to try to gain more information, but maybe she
Yeah.
knows more than I do.
You're not upset that I took this from Shattengrod, are you, Aglar? Because I meant to say, I looked, there was no one there at the time, and I couldn't really figure out what it was to bring it to a new museum. And I tried to sell it, I'll be honest, but no one wanted it.
Well, I mean, I feel like that might have to be a conversation for a later time, but no, of course, it is. These things are all across now. It's impossible to keep track of them as long as they're not being misused, you see, for many of these items, the way that of the magic, they find themselves to people's hands. Sometimes they are drawn to it, almost like a fate, and it is chosen. And I'm no one to interrupt with fate, but I try to keep these things out of the hands of those that would use them for evil.
As is our duty. And you see, just kind of almost appearing next to him, you see a woman that looks very similar to Aguilar. Blue skin, very fine, like elven features, kind of has her hair like pulled back. Extremely elegant looking clothes, but she's just kind of standing there next to you now. I believe this is something that would garner more investigation. Mrs. Calder Cloak, is that correct?
Nice to meet your acquaintance. And she kind of lingers, expecting a name and holding her hand out.
Oh, let me clarify this with Hunter. Is it Lazul or Lazul? Because I thought you
Either
said
way,
Lazul.
it's you can say it either way.
Okay. She's like, I am High Seeker Lazul. She holds out her hand to shake yours. Are you shaking her hand?
Of course.
All right. She kind of like looks down to the ring and says, based off of what Aguilar has gleaned, I believe it is pressing matter that we discover exactly what is going on with this thing, if you would be so inclined.
It's been acting up quite recently. I don't mind you looking at it. If you're a friend of Aguilar's, you're a friend of mine. Right? She looks at her.
In our
And
line
him
of business,
and Aguilar. She's looking between them like, is that right? Have I got this right?
In our line of business, friends are not easily found. It is more so family that we depend on, but if Aguilar has deemed you trustworthy, then I am not one to doubt him and his abilities.
Okay.
Let us find a place where we can discuss this further. I believe they were serving dinner soon. That might be a good place to
We're
step off to
actually
the side.
looking for our fellow party members. If you hadn't seen them, there's this big knoll-looking fella. Can't hard to miss him. I just
Well,
a knoll.
to clarify, I believe Jakar is still wearing the circlet of human perfection, so he looks like
I forgot.
a handsome Goliath. Yep. No worries.
So he looks like a handsome. So she'll just wear that instead.
I have clocked, if that is the word you would like to use, the group that Aguilar entered with. I believe a couple of them were mingling with the proprietor of this entire event as well. It seems you have some friends in high places, Aguilar.
Quite fortunate indeed, as fate would have it.
No, I don't think it is. I would like to get out of here, actually.
That is a keen instinct that you have, Calder. This may seem all lavish and wonderful, but this is one of the most dangerous places in Exandria, I'd reckon.
Oh. oh, how nice.
We should head up to the second floor. I believe that's where the meals are being had. And she starts to lead the way. Cutting over to Lumen, you kind of were brought away with Glenn after a tense exchange at the table. Basically, the woman that Quarterly and Rune had been after, they kind of confronted her, and Glenn kind of brought her along with everybody to sit at the table, and it seemed like there's some tension here, and he basically was like, I see there's some little bit of tension. Who wants a drink? We're going to fetch some drinks. And he kind of pulled you away from the table to go get drinks, as you kind of you weren't there for the argument and the ensuing kind of reveals, but he kind of leads you up to the bar around that time, and he's like, "So, this your group of friends? They seem to be a little bit more interconnected with Miss Kurat than I originally thought. Do you know anything about that, or is it just sort of news to you as well?"
So that would be news to me. I'm not too sure
Well, as I
what
said,
that was about.
Miss Kurat is one of our more promising prodigies, I guess you could say. She's new to the organization, but she does very good work. But
And she was the one that was looking to play tonight.
I believe she said she would sit in on the game, yes. That is, if you don't mind.
After that, I wouldn't be the one to mind. Those I should say.
Sure. And I mean, you can bring your friends to participate as well. I mean, unless you wanted to keep it more of a personal thing between you and your former associates within the organization.
No, not anymore. I think after the deal we struck, I don't think that would be too fair. I do want to say though, at this point, I am here on their time. I don't know what exactly will unfold tonight in terms of the games, but I might make an early exit if the others wish. I'll probably play for a bit.
Fair enough.
They're certainly welcome to sit in if they wish to.
Well,
to be there.
the game that I had in mind is a very relatively quick game, and it's called Dragon's Horde. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it is very
heard of it?
quick. Yeah, Lumen would have heard of it. It's a pretty straightforward game.
Is it a
Might have
card
been-
game?
It is a dice game. I've kind of realized, like, I know that's Lumen's whole thing, but I don't know how the fuck we're gonna play a card game when you're like, I don't know how D&D expects you to do that.
I didn't really want to play. He just had an idea.
Okay.
No, let's not sit here and role play rounds of a game, please. No.
But yeah, he just kind of nods. He says, "I know cards are more of your forte, but they insisted on wanting to play more of a dice-oriented game to prevent any repeat transgressions, as they said it. But I know you.
Smart.
Yes, but
Well, it's the house. You know, house's rules, so I'll acquiesce.
of course. Well, he kind of pauses, and you look over where he's looking, and you just see Quarterly storming off from the table after what looks like a very heated exchange. You see Rune like following her afterwards. Well, there's always drama everywhere we go, isn't there?
Right. I think I should. I think I'll follow.
Okay. So you go to follow Quarterly and Rune, who we will cut back to now. Quarterly, where are you storming off to?
Probably the rooftop, because it was relatively empty earlier, you said, right?
It was.
Yeah, so probably that's where she would go.
Okay. You find the lift currently is being used by like a bunch of people that are coming up to the second floor. You kind of look around a little bit. You find there is a second sort of like single or double person lift that is, you imagine, used for like employees, but it doesn't explicitly say like no employees allowed. But
I would take that.
okay. So you get in the lift and you hear footsteps kind of jogging after you. You see Rune there.
If the elevator hasn't gone yet, she'll be like, "You mind if I join you? Could use the air."
Oh. And she just steps aside, like makes some space in the lift.
Okay. You enter the lift, and right as the doors are about to close, you see Lumen kind of approaching as well.
Am I interrupting?
No, I mean, you go into the roof as well.
I was just following. I read the tension before you pulled me aside and saw you storming off. Just make sure it was okay.
It's complicated. I'll be fine. I just need some fresh air.
Alright, I think we'll kind of look the room. Be in good hands then. And he'll stay off the elevator.
All right. So you let the elevator go up. The two of you head to the rooftop. You come out to the soft sound of kind of like crickets and whatnot, other nocturnal life come chirping. Not a whole lot of people up here, as everyone is gathering for dinner down at the second floor. You see the wooden statue kind of guard bartender at the bar, kind of waves to you guys and kind of says, "Welcome back. I'm Splinters. Did you need a drink?"
Yes, please, something strong.
Pours a very kind of quickly prepares a drink for you and looks to you, Rune. Would you like a drink as well?
Nothing too heavy for me, but sure.
Kind of prepares a drink for you as well and hands you both drinks.
Take it and nod off to the side where I guess they can stand like away from like I imagine most of the people would be over here by like the bar area, so go find somewhere away from that.
Coralie would like drink, but she's not used to having alcohol, so she would be like, yum.
You don't have to drink it if you don't like it.
Well, I'm kind of hoping for an effect rather than a good taste here.
Right. Won't really say anything about that, but just lean against the railing of the roof. So,
Yeah.
you'll want to talk about it, or just stand here and stare off for like an hour or so, or what?
Well, I assume you have questions.
Oh, for sure. But do you feel like answering them?
I feel like I owe it to you, and she's gulping more of a drink. Yeah, I think I can answer.
Okay. So, you, if I'm understanding correctly, you made a pact with someone?
Well, she would like lean on a railing, I guess, and just look away. I guess it's more of a business contract, you could say. And I promise, it's not as bad as it sounds. I mean, you know me. Like, we've been traveling for a long time together. You've seen the good things I've done.
Right.
I'm not evil. I'm not a bad person. It's really not as bad. I mean, to be quite honest, I feel like ever since agreeing to the contract, to be honest, more good has happened than bad. I mean, the only thing that has changed is I'm free of this prison that I called a home, and I'm finally starting to have a clear view of things, of my past and of what was actually going on, and what my father has done, and I guess my mother as well. So I feel like there's honestly, there's more good has happened than bad since I agreed to it.
Right. I wouldn't argue. You haven't done a lot of good, but I mean, look at me for an example. I have done, admittedly, I've done good things with these changes that are now coming to me, but I more so unwittingly found myself tied to a devil, I guess. But if things continue, we all know where it's going to end.
But that is the difference between us. I still have my free will. Everything that I've done so far is I've done out of my own free will, and I have not hurt anybody. I mean, I have hurt, I guess, someone, but they deserved it, like if they attack us, I'm attacking back, I guess. And to be honest, now that I'm seeing clearer, I feel like I was kind of chained to this hope of my father giving me love, and I wanted for him to be so proud, but now I'm free of that. Like, knowing that he knew he lied. I don't have the urge to be good for him anymore. I'm free to do whatever I want, and the only people I care about have been with me for the past few months. And she's like putting her glass away, and she's getting closer and looking Rune straight in the eyes. With the power that I'm getting, maybe I can help you too. I mean, you said it's a curse that happened to you, right?
Very much so.
So, you see, they make it sound so bad, this power that I'm getting, but it has helped me so far. It has helped us. In fact, it has kept us alive more than once. And maybe, who knows what else I can do? Maybe I can help you to get rid of that curse. And
Rune will interrupt, reach out, and press her hands to her shoulders, looking her square in the face. Cordially, do you hear yourself right now? You are putting your faith in someone who could turn on you in just an instant. What's to stop her from betraying your trust now?
that is the thing about a contract, As long as I fulfill my part of the business, there's nothing she can do.
There are loopholes in contracts, Quarterly. Devils, from what I've heard, are masters of contracts. I don't want you... If you had a choice in this, if there is a way to get you out of this contract, you need to take it. I don't want to see you end up under a devil's thumb whenever you die, just like what'll happen to me. If you have a chance, take it out.
I mean, so far I don't have a chance, and maybe with currently still being bound to it, at least the time that I am in, I can use to help you. We can help each other. Maybe I can keep you safe.
I want you to help me as you, not as someone else's puppet.
But this is me. These are my decisions. This is the first time in my life that these decisions are mine and that I can do whatever I want to do.
Was it your decision to hit that guy in the face, that guard that was surrendered?
I don't remember that.
The one you got angry at, and you tried to blast the captain. You hit the guy instead, just like.
Yay.
It was me. I mean, sometimes my emotions might take control over me, but what am I supposed to do in that moment? He insulted me. I should have kept my cool. I know it was not good that I hit him. It was my decision, but it was more out of pain than anything. And I already had my father berate me about it. I don't need you to do so as well. But I can clearly say it was me. It was not any influence. I might try to do good, but I'm also not perfect.
I'm not asking for that. We're gonna let go and turn back towards just leaning on the railing once more. I'm just trying to talk you out of this. Because nothing good's going to come out of this. I'm no genius, I'm no expert in things of this nature. I just don't want you to get yourself hurt if there's a way for you to get out of it.
I'm not quite sure if I want a way out of it. I know that maybe where it comes from is not the best, but I know I can be better than it. I know I can use it for the good. I can try at least, and I promise if there's any indication of it going too far, I will try my best to get out of it, but I need this. And I still need answers. I cannot give it up yet. And I will use it to help you. I will use it to help with the curse. I will use it to maybe get Agler home if that is what he is looking to do. I will use it to keep you guys safe if I can.
And we'll just sigh frustration, run a hand down her face.
I just need you to trust me. I need you with me. I know
I don't trust her.
you don't have to trust her, you just need to trust me that I'm strong enough for this. I mean, you have backed me up so far like no one ever has in my life. You were always there. No matter what I wanted to do, you said you got my back. And I believe in myself as much as I believe in you being a good person. We are not the monsters that we are out to be or that we are portrayed as. You are not becoming a monster just as much as I've never been a monster. And I will do anything in my power to make sure of that.
You know, the most frustrating part of this, I'm not against you. Hell, I am trying so hard to explain why this is a bad idea. I'm just frustrated because you're not realizing it.
But how do you know?
I don't. But it's better than hoping that she won't betray you. Hoping that she won't just one day, decide she's done with you. She could just drop you for all we know.
She could. And then it is going to be my suffering. But if until that happens, if until anything bad happens, I can make sure that only good things happen, then I will. I will try.
Rin will finish off her drink and step away from the railing. I think I've had enough air. I'll be back downstairs. I think. She'll walk off.
as you continue start to go downstairs. Heading back to Jakar, who is just at the table, not by himself. He has Lord Remem and Mabel there, who is there. It's tense, but they're waiting for everyone to return. You can see Lumen is on his way over without drinks, without Glenn, and then you see the lift opens to see Aguilar and Calda are starting to come. Jakar, you have been involved in a lot of tense discourse tonight. If it wasn't for that little battle that you had, you'd probably be really, really hungry and angry and wanting to tear something to shreds right now. But thankfully, you got a little bit of a fight, got beat up a little bit, thrashed around, and it was probably just what you needed to keep yourself under cool. But what is going on through your head this time?
I think it's like Jakar is just stuffing his face full right now and just eyeing the people around the room and kind of like feeling the general discomfort of having like being surrounded by this many people in like an environment that he's just not used to. He's just sitting down silently and hears a voice in his head that goes, "Okay, here you are again, Jack, stuffing your face so you don't have to look at what's around you. You, me, we both know this is a very fucking bad idea. I mean, frankly, big guy, we're kind of fucked. Don't let all the shiny silverware distract you from how sharp the edge is. Hell, you know the only way to get good meat is by hunting it down. It's soon, after fatting you up, you'll be served on a platter. So come on, stop cutting into that carcass. Go look for your pack, and before you're the one end up bleeding on that table, let's look for them. Right, big guy? How does that sound?" And he just like looks up and goes, "I've never torn into something so tender." Oh fuck, this is great. Oh shit. Lumen, there you are.
You see, Lord Remem and Mabel are just looking at you extremely confused and a little worried. And Lumen, you heard that last part as you walked up. You're not too sure what the fuck's going on.
He's in the middle of a meal right now? He is actually eating something.
Yeah, the food. Well, I was gonna say the food probably would have been brought shortly after, but yeah, I guess leave it to Jakar. Is there actually food there yet, or is he just saying that?
I'll say like he's actually like the food is like there already, and he's just like it's been a while. He's been waiting for a little bit.
Yeah. But you just see the food.
Foods to your liking? Okay.
Yeah. You know, they gave me just the right portion to take the edge off. The edge off. So, where were you? Where's everyone else?
I'm poorly and ruined. Just went up to the rooftop for some fresh air.
Right.
I think I saw Aldo and Aguilar. Did I see them get off the lift?
Yeah, they're walking over right now. Actually, as they finally spot you, and you see along with
Looking like
them
they're
there is
gathering back up now.
there's another woman that looks very similar to Aguilar, kind of walking over as well.
Oh boy. There's Aldo and Aguilar right there. Just glad to have more guests.
Okay, so here we go. Here are all the drinks for everyone. Here you go. Here, so the one said she wanted something strong. I don't know where she went, but that's for her. Okay, and these must be the other people that are okay. Excuse me. Could we get more? Can we get more chairs over here? Maybe slide another table over. This is getting to be quite a big little arrangement we have here. Goodness. Okay. Wow. A lot of people. A lot of tension. That's okay. That's all right. We'll work with it. Okay. And before long, everybody kind of sits down at the table. You see, eventually, Aguilar, Lord Trebane comes over and sits down as well.
Oh god.
Oh,
And
Oh,
so
Is he not
it
good,
is. So
Aguilar?
eventually,
Keep
when
your
Rune
face
gets
to the
back,
fa-
this is the table. This is who we have here. We have Glenn, Mabel, High Secret Lazul, Lord Trebane, Lord Remem, uh, Lumen, Calda,
oh.
Jakar, Rune, who eventually comes back, Corley, Aglar, and I think that was everybody.
The more the merrier.
And Vecna comes over. He's a sick
Oh
my god.
Sorry.
Imagine.
So you all kind of sit down at the table and you're like eating food. You see as like kind of at the far side of the room, there is like a stage on the second floor here. As there seems to be like a beautiful kind of like the band has moved upstairs and is now playing up there and is doing this like beautiful performance. Um, but as everybody is eating, Mabel just ordered the same thing for everybody. It is just a steak, mashed potatoes, and green beans. But it's very well like fancily prepared. Jakar, you especially requested like a big portion. Your steak almost like reaches over onto other people's plates with how fucking large it is. It is huge.
Hell yeah.
It is all the steaks are prepared medium rare, give or take. And as you're all kind of sitting down to enjoy it, Rune, as you finally get back, I need you to make me a
no.
wisdom saving throw, please.
oh,
What?
you.
Hell
Me.
yeah.
Oh God.
I will probably also join her shortly after, but like 5-10 minutes later.
Can I just say as well, Lumen will just cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Okay. It is not. None of the food is poisoned or diseased.
Does that spell also catch any like a magical kind of poison? Is there magical poison? Does that exist?
Magic.
Location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet. You can also define the kind of poison, a poisonous creature, or disease.
Okay.
My
What
curse
is it? Wait, read that again.
It is the location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of you. You also
Okay.
identify the kind of poison, creature, or disease.
Okay. Yeah. No, you kind of do that, and the magic like spreads out, and you're getting like a ping, but you're not entirely too sure. Like, it's like your magic is struggling to permeate something. And you kind of like look around, you're trying to recognize what's going on. It's not for a poison or disease, it is for a poisonous creature. And you kind of,
No, wait.
you don't really know exactly what's going on. You just kind of, you never had this before. It's like your magic, like there's something like cloaking or like obscuring your magic, but you're so close to the source that it's like you're getting like a little blip of it, and you're not entirely too sure.
Okay, who did Glenn say he was? He showed a sigil of Tiamat, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, if you can't tell them, it'll just keep the spell up.
Okay. Yeah. You're all just kind of eating. More people coming to the table. Lord Trebane kind of sits down, like scoots his chair in. It's like a little like kind of like on the floor. He's like, lovely to see you all again. Did not expect to see you all here in this circumstance, nor did I expect to see how many connections you all had. Interesting. Okay. Kind of like tucks like a napkin into like his shirt and begins to like start to eat. It's a really awkward dinner, guys. You see people just
The
like
worst.
casting glances at each other. They're Lumen, especially for. I really would just be Lumen and Glenn. The two of you have no fucking clue of like all the weird shit that's going on with everybody else.
This is really good.
Yeah, your passive insight, you sense something is wrong, and like you kind of like look over, and like Glenn is giving you like side glances, like looking to the group. You see Jakar is like enjoying his food.
To make it
Rune.
more fun and awkward too, Baglo's just gonna take his like fork and knife and kind of like cut into the steak, almost like right in half, and sort of like try to separate it, and sort of is just like looking at it as if it's like poison. And,
Lumen will try to get his attention, give him like a little like thumbs up under the table, like.
gonna look over at Lumen and be like, "What is this?"
Can I approach the dinner as well?
Mhm.
I would like to approach it with my drink in hand,
Mhm.
and I guess I would see the awkwardness of the dinner.
Yes.
I would approach it. I would go to whatever chair is empty. I don't know if they took my space or not. Doesn't matter.
No, they would have left a spot for you, and there is another very strong-looking drink that has been placed there as well as where you were sitting before.
Lovely. I still have my drink in hand, though. I will approach, and I will pick up my knife, and I will clink my glass, stretch my dress, and I would say, I would like to make a toast. Do the people like do something?
Are you
Is it
saying this to you're trying to get the attention of the entire banquet
table?
area, or just the
Table.
table?
Just
As
the
the
table.
table. Yeah,
Oh
they
my
all
god, not
just
the entire.
they,
No.
they all just kind of look up at you. There's mixtures of like your father just like looks very pained, like he's like cringing, like he doesn't want to be here.
Wow.
You see Mabel just like looks up to you with like a eyebrow raised, odd expression. Glenn looks up at you with a smile, a very encouraging smile. Um, yeah.
The last thing you want to hear in
He
a
would.
D&D game, your father is cringing.
She would lift up her drink and she would say, "To wonderful stories told, their ends and new beginnings." That's the toast. Then she would take like cheers.
Sounded like a fucking. That sounded like a
What?
fucking cheerleader captain college girl saying, "Hey, I met Ryan. It was the best day of my life. Two wonderful beginnings and wonderful ends. I love you so much." And then they
Wow,
get divorced like 4 months later.
Me.
No.
Did you not listen to anything I said earlier? I was like literally referencing to everything I've said earlier.
It's just funny. No, I get it, but it's funny. Like for the people at the table that have no context, like Lord Tremaine, he's probably like, "Oh God." Like, it's like, what the fuck?
It's a party. Why would they think it's anything weird? It's just a toast to new beginnings. Could mean anything.
It's all good. Yeah, it could be anything. All right, so she sits down at the table. Rune, you are hearing that, and just the frustration that you experienced upstairs is kind of building within you. You look down at the steak, and you kind of start to dig into it like you have before. You've had steak before. You see a little bit of blood because yours was cooked like medium rare, a little bit more on the rare side, kind of seep out, and all of the frustration just kind of suddenly builds within you. You all watch it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much that gif. It is pretty much that
I
gif.
just imagine a toast and the bird's like.
as after the toast is done, you guys watch as Rune just starts to shift involuntarily to even worse than like before. You see her claw, like he has these elongated claws, like just this fur everywhere. Her eyes just kind of turn like cat-like, and she looks down at the steak and just starts fucking tearing it apart with her hands and her mouth.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's hungry.
You do not hear any of the things around you,
Yeah,
Rune. You
I
are
imagine.
just tearing into this thing. You get the temporary hit points from your shift. I don't know if that'll
Oh,
happen anything. But,
okay.
To kind of distract from the awkwardness of her doing that, I would also put my like fork and knife aside and just start. I would not tear into it, but I would just start eating my steak with my hands.
as soon as you say that, like Lord Remem was looking at Rune like confused, and he looks to Quarterly and he goes, "Quarterly."
She would completely ignore him. She doesn't give a fuck. She dips it into sauce or whatever and takes another bite.
You see
Painful.
Mabel is
Holy
just
shit.
laughing at this, looking between you, Corley, and Rune and Lord Remem, and she's just like laughing, like just chuckling.
I'm trying to give like Jakar a little look, like do the same.
Oh, he's like, you don't have to ask me twice. He's doing the same.
Nice.
The fuck?
Nice.
High Secret Lazul just looks at the table and then like concrete grinding noise, like her head slowly looks over at you, Aglar, just like with the most like what the fuck? Who are these people you're traveling with? Like look.
I know. I also would have preferred seafood. I'm not sure what this is. Just trying to pretend like I'm not acknowledging everything going on.
Oh my fucking god! All right, everybody, give
Holy
yourselves
shit.
inspiration because I love all the fucking. This is so
fucking
good.
amazing.
This is awesome.
Really good,
It's
yeah.
fucking amazing.
I'm trying.
You see Glenn kind of looks down at his. He's like, you know, I never thought to try it that way, but maybe it's like a,
Oh.
you know, it's like a chicken wing. You know, like you could eat it elegantly, but it's better if you just sort of. He just like puts his utensils down and like he tucks like a bib into his shirt, and he just starts like picks it up with both hands, just starts like nibbling on it.
Yeah.
The
Jakar
more in your
cheers
mouth,
him
the
on.
better the taste.
Calda's doing the exact same thing.
It's freeing. It's free.
Oh.
It's natural. It's freeing.
You see, you happen to look over and you see a good portion of the like the other couple hundreds of people in here are like looking at your table with a mix of like confusion, amusement, like just being like really weirded out. And you see one guy go like, "Oh, thank God, I hate using fucking utensils." And he kind of like at another table and he just starts like tearing into it.
I
What a
love it. We
You see his
started
what you
What is
presume
it?
his wife is like smacks his hand. He's like, "Oh, the leader of the fucking event is doing it. Why can't I do it? What's the problem?"
I start bursting into dance.
Oh.
Alright,
Oh.
Flash mob.
I'm having deja vu of another character.
Jesus
Of another
Christ.
player, I should say.
Oh god.
This
Are you
is the
actually
musical episode.
are you actually getting up and dancing?
No, that was a
Okay.
joke.
I was gonna say Lord Rebem's gonna roll psychic damage for the amount of cringe he's taking right now.
No, I didn't want to like draw attention to me when I did that. I wanted to just make it look like, oh, that's the thing we do, you know? Like we just eat our food like that. So
Isocross was hard, you know.
we're just hungry. Tastes
I was looking
delicious.
for this one GIF though, but I'm not gonna be able to find it on Discord. There's this one thing where it's like this like Navy commander of the United States, like Navy or something. They're at like an event and like his daughter is there. She's like a grown woman, but she's like dancing to the music and then she like looks at the camera and turns to start twerking and he like smacks her like shoulder, like gets really like annoyed. Like I imagine that's Lord Remem and like Quarterly. Like she's just getting fucking shit face acting up and he's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
God
Quarterly
damn it.
told him he is non-existent to her anymore. She doesn't give a fuck. She's a rebel.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, the dinner goes by. Nothing else out of the ordinary really happens, if you can call that not out of the ordinary. But eventually, a dessert is to be served. It is an optional dessert. They do specify. They do reiterate the rules of like hey, one of these you'll get the special dessert if you try it. Blah blah. Blah, you know, depending who if you're lucky, if you're a lucky winner. Um, who is participating in eating the dessert?
Have my
Me.
facilities returns at this point.
After you've eaten the food and you've actually tried to eat some of the food to the person next to you, who
You
would
ate,
be
you
ma-
ate your meal, and then you ate the person next to you.
Oh, good.
we'll say it was Lord Trebane. Like sat he's like
Oh
like
no!
he said like sure I wasn't really that hungry anyway. And kind of like pushes the plate over and you devour that. Afterwards, you kind of come back to your senses and you just your face is a mess, your clothes are a mess, and you kind of lose your shift and look around a little bit.
Yeah, she just kind of like looks down at her little hands, like covered in fucking steak sauce now, and then she just like sighs and puts her head on the table.
Hey,
I hate
hey,
this.
Rune. I got
What?
a napkin. Don't worry.
Yeah, a napkin will fix this. Just begrudgingly takes it and starts trying to wipe it off
I
herself.
forgot we're eating dinner with Lumen. All the napkins in the entire hall have been used. Sorry, there's
Alright.
Napkin.
for context. Whenever we went out to eat with Nat, he would use one napkin. He would like wipe his mouth once with it and then put it off to the side. We're like, dude, we're gonna run out of fucking napkins. What's going on?
Keep our hands clean. Right? You know, fine. Lumen's the same way. You willed it.
Oh, God.
At that point, Rune's gonna be like, "Why do I have to lose? Sure, I'll take the fucking dessert."
Okay. So who here is partaking in the dessert?
Me.
Lumen will take a dessert. Also, at one point, Lumen will cut up some pieces of the meat, and he's gonna try to feed the snake.
Oh.
Okay. Roll a. Are you trying to do it discreetly?
After seeing everyone like attack their food, he's gonna start below the table. He's gonna be like, "No, fuck this." He's gonna try to very overtly show it.
The snake does. The snake kind of like peeks up from your sleeve, and it does eat some of the food. Like I said, you felt before after that like display of power. When you killed the ogre, there's something different about it. But as of right now, the snake just kind of looks like fine. He looks normal the same way he does. But anybody that is partaking in the dessert, I need you to go ahead and roll me a D100, please. And I will say that Glenn's not going to partake, but I'll say Lord Remem, and Lord Trebane will. So I'll roll 2 D100 here.
If the famous nice people are doing it, then Caldo's gonna do it too.
Famous nice people.
Yeah.
They're not, but you know.
I guess I'll participate as well.
Okay.
I think.
4.
Damn. Right in the middle.
What is it? A low roll or a high roll?
You
Someone
just
rolled really low.
let me know if you guys get a 93 or higher.
Oh, I got 90.
Oh, you got a 90?
Yeah.
Dang.
Damn.
I didn't eat it. I just want to roll for the jokes of it.
What if I use an inspiration? Just kidding.
You could if you wanted.
Oh.
So we can use an inspiration on this?
Yeah, it's a roll. You can use inspiration if you want.
100%.
Come on. Come on.
No, fuck it, we ball. Oh,
yeah, for this? Hell yeah.
Alright, fine. I'm using mine.
They're gonna like give you an island or some shit at this party. So.
80.
93.
Oh my gosh, you fucking got it. That's crazy.
Nice.
Holy
Instant
shit.
death.
Nice.
Honestly, the perfect person to get it as well.
Yeah.
Equal luck.
You guys.
If anyone should win this, it's Calder.
Yes. You guys watch as everyone is like eating their dessert, and it's a very good dessert. It's just like a basic like fancy kind of velvety cake. The icing isn't too like sugary or like rich. It's perfectly made. It's very, very good dessert. Calda, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary until you guys start to see like a little bit of like a glow. And you guys all look over at Calda and you see that her and all of her equipment, everything, has taken on like a rainbow-ish appearance.
Oh.
She's just like completely rainbow.
It's because she's gay.
The cake has activated it.
So proud of you.
Pride.
You watch as Calda, like
happen?
you're looking down at yourself, and like you kind of like for a second you're like the section of you that's sitting in the chair kind of shifts to the color of the chair where it almost looks like you're like a chameleon, like you've completely blended in with your surroundings. And you see Glenn get really excited and he stands up and he shouts, he says, "We have a winner! This is the person that has won the dessert sort of raffle. I don't know really what it's called, but call the tea cloak, everybody!" And everyone in the you hear some like disappointed like sighs, and like some people kind of like more people are like clapping and like laughing and stuff like that.
There we go.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, confetti shoots out from the ceiling.
Chicken.
We'd like to take a moment to announce that.
All our food keeps blowing up. You see, he kind of gestures. He's like, "Please bring the prize over, please, quickly."
There's a prize. Oh no.
Yes, of course, there's a prize. That was the whole point. You're risking it, you know. He comes over. You see this person, like one of the guards, the wooden statue, like servant people, brings over this like large platter with like a cloth over like an object that's on it, and he says, "And now for the grand revealing of what your prize is. Here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 3." And he takes his hand and pulls the cloth off, and you see this large orange like jug that's just sitting on a plate, and he's like, "You have won yourself an alchemy jug. Give it up for Mrs. Teaklock, everybody. Yeah." They all just like start clapping. Calda, you can add a alchemy jug orange to your inventory.
Think about all the barbecue sauce.
It only creates orange liquids.
Orange mayonnaise.
Who loves orange
Mayonnaise?
soda?
Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is one of the options that it has, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly.
Beer. They can make beer.
Oh,
We're in the money.
And as the dessert has been ate and that comes to an end, I will be right back. We'll take a little 5-minute break before we come back. 5-10 minute break.
boy.
The night goes by without or the dessert goes by without a hitch, and after a little bit of talking and conversing,
Am I still
you see.
rainbow?
No, that ends after like an hour. You are no longer Rainbow.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
You see High Seeker Lazul looks to Aguilar and you, Calda. She's like, perhaps we should take this conversation elsewhere then.
Of course.
Okay. All right.
And she kind of stands up and kind of gives a bow to everybody else at the table and be like, "It's a lovely event that you've hosted, Glenn. And I appreciate you inviting me and having Lord Trebane extend the invitation, but I fear I must be going, returning." You see Glenn say, "Oh, so soon? Oh, well, stay safe, have a good trip home, and hopefully we can have another one sometime soon, because this has been very lovely. This is very fun to do these more often." And it's playing an advertisement again on the bot. That's really annoying.
While you fix that, can I go up to Glenn? And I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna say, "This is indeed a lovely party, and I feel like there's some actual party missing. So, if you don't mind, it would be an honor if I could ask you for a dance."
Roll a persuasion check for me, please.
Like, I'm not trying to get anything out of it. I just sort of like dance, you know. That's a 23.
23. He kind of hesitates and he looks back to
No one's dancing.
Mabel. He looks back to Mabel and Lumen. He says, it would be a very poor host if I were to deny this. I suppose the game will have to wait. Mabel, would you be able to take Lumen upstairs and get a booth set? I believe Shotha and Steadfast had already reserved a place, but would you get him situated?" And she's like, "Yes, of course, I will do that. Mr. Evenfold, please follow me." And Glenn kind of stands up and takes your hand. He's like, "I suppose we should head down to the ground floor then. It's not to be dancing amongst tables of people eating."
Indeed, that would be a little bit awkward, wouldn't it?
You two head downstairs. Lumen, are you heading with Mabel upstairs?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
I want to, before I go downstairs to dance with him, I want to keep like one last peek to see how her father reacts. She kind of does this to upset him a little bit.
He's not paying attention to you. He doesn't seem to even be looking up in your direction.
Okay.
As everyone's starting to split up, Rune will stand up as well and toward Remem speak up. If you'd like to come with me, you can. I did still promise Quarterly I'd keep you safe. So, I was going to the 3rd floor. I need to go clear my mind, maybe shoot some archery.
That was I believe that was
4th floor?
the 4th
Or
floor, I think.
4th floor.
I don't have my notes pulled up right now. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm scrambling because there's a cat that is scratching at my leg constantly and screaming at me constantly.
Man, what's that?
Let me see here. We go down to there it is, Jade Coast. Would be the 5th floor.
5th floor.
He kind of nods at that and says, I believe that would be a fine way to conclude the evening. Lead on.
Okay. Go that way.
Going back to Halda and Aglar, you sort of follow High Seeker Lazul to a hallway. Seems relatively empty of people or anything like that. She kind of looks around. You see her kind of cast a couple basic like detect magic spells and things like that before she kind of sits down on the couch and gestures for Calda to do and Aglar to do the same.
Yeah, I do.
She offers her hand towards you, Calda, and says, "This is most likely going to be quite a painful experience, but if we are to glean
fantastic.
if we are to glean exactly what this thing is in your finger, then we're going to have to use more powerful magic at our disposal than any basic party tricks that you may have seen before."
Elda just looks to Aglar for like the go no go.
I'll just grab Calda's like other hand and be like, I'm sorry, Calda, but needs to be done.
I knew you were upset that I took it from Shattenkron, but let's do it anyway. If it'll mean you're not upset anymore, I'll try.
I don't believe he is upset. I believe he is worried about the power that this thing carries. Not to say that you are irresponsible, it's just it may be magnitudes beyond something than what you believe it is.
Oh, well, in that case, let's not waste another moment, I suppose.
Okay. She kind of pauses for a moment. You see her kind of focus very quickly. Almost like you're being not drawn into her, but like more like you find yourself leaning a little bit more forward as there's just like a bit of suspense that hangs in the air. She closes her eyes. She's holding your hand with one hand, and then she has her other hand on top of it. And you see as she starts to just kind of starts off slow. She starts to just mutter some words in a language that you don't understand initially. You don't feel anything at first. She kind of opens her eyes, looks down at the ring, and it gives like a little bit of a puzzled look. Does the same thing, clasps her hands over your hand, and starts muttering a little bit louder at this point. Now you start to feel a little bit of resistance. As she presses deeper into it, there is just like a more burning sensation that's coming from your ring, from your finger. And it is uncomfortable, but she holds firm and continues to try and pry into the magic of this thing. She kind of stops again, looks down at your hand, looks back up at you. The burning fades as she stops, and she just kind of gives you like a reassuring nod. This is where it might get a little bit messy. I do apologize. If you want answers,
I really wish you wouldn't say that.
I'm being honest with you. You are
Okay.
most likely a strong woman, from what I've gathered. In any case, she goes down. You see now she doesn't close her eyes. She actually keeps them open. And there's just like this bluish energy, similar to the probably some. Well, what color is your energy, Aguilar? I don't know if I've ever asked you, but like the type of magic that you use.
Um, depending on which I'm using, I'm mostly in either blues or golds.
Yeah. So it's like a very like royal blue, like magic. Her eyes are just completely glazed over with this magic. You see her hair kind of start to float up a little bit. Um, Her grip becomes a little bit stronger as she holds your hand in place, and you feel your fingers start just like burning. It feels like you are sticking your finger into an oven or on a hot stovetop, and it is just being held there as is. You
You
don't.
could maybe stop. Maybe it's a little hot. It's a little hot. Like just jimmering and spluttering as it gets warmer and warmer.
He continues on. Are you trying to wrench your hand free, or are you just saying that?
No.
Okay.
Aglar said it was okay.
Okay. Um, she continues to pry deeper and deeper, and now it doesn't even seem like she is looking at the ring, but she is looking. You feel her essence like just pushing into your own. She is sifting through your thoughts, your feelings, your memories. Just you as a person, what makes up your essence. And then you feel her essence drift back down to the ring. Almost like she's like trying to pry you away from it for a moment so that she can just isolate it, so that she can study it. This is an intensity of magic the likes of which you've probably never felt before or experienced. Aglar, unfortunately, you know all too well. Your people are very versed in getting to the bottom of things like this. And you've probably never seen her, High Seeker, exert herself like this, but she continues on. You see her hair at this point is lifting almost completely into the air as her and Calda now begin to levitate off of the couch. And there's just this like bluish magic that is just like rotating around the both of them. She's just saying words now like loud enough for you all to hear in this just strange foreign language that um, you have probably heard her say before, call Aglar, like you've heard the language before, but Calder, you've never heard like this type of magic, or you have no clue what sort of spell she's casting. She You guys continue to lift up in the hallway until you are like almost towards the ceiling. At this point, Aglar, you are just sitting there looking up at the two of them. Um, you see like a person kind of comes down the hallway and stops and looks, and then they just turn around and walk the other way. They don't want any part of whatever the hell is going on here. Um, she speaks louder and louder. You're at this point, Caldo, you feel like your finger is it has to be like just charcoal. You are just like doing everything you can to not yell out in pain as she is just pressing further and further in. And it gets to this climatic moment where the energy swells and you feel you feel your finger kind of also like the presence of the ring seems to fight back, and you see a glow from the ring as there is like a shockwave that goes out that sends her flying back. You watch as she flies back, and right before she hits the wall, she casts a spell on herself, and you watch as this cage of like pinkish energy just comes around her and like catches her in midair, like a wall of force almost, kind of like catches her. She kind of slides down to the bottom of it. You watch the wall of force dissipate. She kind of gracefully drops to her feet. Calda, you are just like kind of hovering there of your own accord for a second. You look down at your finger, assuming you've lost it, and it looks perfectly fine. And you just kind
I
of
didn't do that.
you kind of slowly fall down, like hover down to the couch before you just kind of plop down back on it in front of Aguilar, and the ring just stops glowing. You see her take a deep breath. High Seeker Lazul, she walks over to you. And she kind of sits down on the couch and collects herself. This is, as I expected, much worse than anything you could have imagined. This is magic that's older than me, older than my people. This goes back probably to the Calamity or before that. You are tied to another that holds the other part of this ring. Is that right?
Maybe. I mean, yes, I am.
But you haven't been able to figure out who it was yet.
That's right.
She kind of sighs. She kind of gives Aguilar like a worried glance. And she looks back down at you and says, This piece, this is a piece of a full, of a set. This is a very powerful artifact. I don't know for what purpose it was made, but I know what it exists for. It is one of three. Once all three have been brought together, the set is complete and it regains its full potential, its full power. What you have on inside of your finger, Calder, is a piece of a ring of 3 wishes. Well, not just any sort. We're not just talking a normal archmage that made a powerful magic item. We're talking the types of wishes that can unravel reality, that can rival the gods. This worries me
Well, I
greatly.
suppose you can have it back if you want.
It is bound to you.
That's really pale, like.
No sort of magic
demeanor.
that I have at my disposal could unbind it from you. I barely was able to deduce what it was. I did, however, figure out who has the other piece, or rather, where the other 2 pieces are. You see, she casts like an illusion spell to show you a sort of landscape of a map of sorts, like you're looking at a map. The Blight Shore, far east of Wildmount, is a extremely dangerous place with wild magics that are left unchecked. There is a area called the Miskoff Pit. The ring's counterpart seems to tie to there. The other ring, the other shard, the other piece, is in possession of an individual. You see, she holds, she kind of closes her eyes again, like she's remembering like a memory or something that she gleaned, and casts another illusionary spell, and it kind of appears in her hand. You see, similar to the silhouette that you saw, human man, clean shaven, long kind of blonde, dark blondish hair pressed back, dressed in this heavy Gwendolian armor. And you see on his he's wearing a heavy like metal gauntlets, but underneath of it, as she kind of coalesces this illusion, you can see, similar to you, on his right hand ring finger, he has a similar looking ring. This is Prince Idis Dwendal of the Dwendalian Empire. I don't know why he has this, but this piece, I recognize it. It was stolen from our people. from Melasmir. Maybe a while ago, perhaps it was past your families, but this I have seen before, I do recognize. If even in books, I'm not quite sure, it's been quite some time, but I do remember seeing this before. He himself, he's a prince, he has political power, but that is not the problem. The problem is his bodyguard. And you see the illusion kind of shift, and you see the brunette-haired woman, like the dark-haired woman, blue eyes, dressed in similar Dwendalian robes, Per, the woman that you just met at the event tonight.
Oh shit.
If she is taking an interest in this ring, specifically the one that you have, you can only imagine that her plans are most likely far beyond anything that the prince has in mind. She's most likely using him. If she collects all 3 of the shards, as I said, she will have the power to unravel reality itself. She could wish for anything, The way it works, from what I understand, is 3 smaller wishes or 1 large wish. She quickly turns back to you, Aguilar, and she looks to you and she says, I think you understand now the gravity of the situation that you found yourself in. Your instinct led you to this group. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I Seeker.
Under no circumstances are you to allow this ring to fall into the wrong hands. You are to protect Calda at all costs.
All right.
We are
Going
here
back
to prevent.
Calda, yeah.
We are here to prevent tragedies from happening, but we are not here to dictate the lives of people. Mrs. Ticloak here found this. It is hers to bear so long as she understands her responsibility. She turns back to Calda. But I trust you understand that if you are to use this for nefarious purposes, Aglar here, as well as the rest of my people, will not hesitate.
How dare you? The Tea-Cloaks are decent folk. And I stand by it. She looks a bit like upset, but she's like, I don't know. She just seems like she's taking a hit to her ego. But I understand. I don't know why I would do that. She's just looking at her finger.
This woman has shaken hands with you. She knows who you are. She knows who your family is. She will do whatever it takes to get to you. Do what you can to resist her. End her life if you have to. And she looks between you and Aguilar at this point. There's a very firm look of resolve.
I'll be sure that aside from protecting her, is there anything about this that I should know? This woman, if she's after it, can she track it? Does she sense it? Will it do anything to Calda?
You said you saw her cast a spell before she saw.
I did.
She was probably trying to track where the other pieces were. She knows one is with you. I don't know whether or not she knows of the 3rd piece. As for the ring itself, it is ancient magic. It is symbiotic in nature. It has bound itself to your being. It will not separate from you until you have died. And even then, it might not. Any magic that you channel into the ring, it will take for itself. It wants nothing but to reach its other counterparts. Have you seen any? I imagine you have seen visions, or it has tried to communicate with you.
A A few? Why? Am I supposed to use those in some way?
It is trying to get you to collect the other pieces by any means. I would say use your best judgment. Don't do anything drastic or stupid or greedy. If you are to get the other piece in the Blightshore, that would be in your advantage, but that would also mean that this Lichwork person would have no choice but to come to you and take both the other pieces. Now, I don't know why the prince has it, but I can only imagine, given the severity of the war that's going on, perhaps Per is using his falling nation as a motivator for him. Regardless, I trust you and I trust Agdar, but I've done all I can.
And if I have found or managed to find all 3 pieces, is there anything I should be doing with that?
You should keep it in a very safe place.
I see. Okay.
If you are to utilize the wishes, we have no means of telling what that would unleash or what it would do.
Understood.
She kind of stands up and she's like, well, I will be departing now. I'm sorry that such a burden has been placed on your shoulders, but I know you Kender people are courageous, adventurous. I hope with Aglar's guidance you will make the right choice.
I think so. What about you, Aglar? What do you make of
Yeah,
all
I'll
this?
kind of stand up facing the High Seeker and sort of like bow my head and put my hand over the like gemstone in my chest and just say like, I'll keep her safe. You can count on us.
She nods and starts to walk away. The last thing you hear in your head before she rounds the corner, Aglar, is, if she gets greedy, or it gets the better of her, I trust you understand what you have to do.
I do.
And she disappears. Walks around the corner. Two of you are just left there in that empty hallway, sitting on the couch after
Elsa's
terrifying
like
display of magic.
like pushing her hair back, like sweaty.
Calda, are you all right? That looked
It's just a
most
little
unpleasant.
intense, you know? I didn't expect to find anything that valuable. That's quite a lot. Even for me.
Well, it seems you're a better adventurer than even you thought. But
I
it
suppose.
is a terrible burden to have to carry. If I can
Well,
or do anything to help, don't hesitate to ask, but I'll try to see to it that your finger stays with the rest of you.
seems I've been sworn to carry your burdens. I'm just kidding. It's alright.
Well, I would gladly take it off your hands, but it seems that's not
Please
exactly
don't.
an
And she puts her
option.
hand like close to herself. I like my hand, how it is. All my fingers, where they are.
Right, of course.
Please, can we get out of here now?
Sure. Well, Also, how do you want to handle this going forward? Do you want to tell the rest of them? Do you want me to tell them? Do you want to keep it secret? You've been with them longer than I have, and although I trust them, maybe your insight would be useful here.
I don't think we have to keep. Damn it, Rune. I don't think we have to keep it secret. I mean, if anything, we need them looking out for me as much as you are.
I was thinking the same thing, as long as you're not worried about any of them trying to take it.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I've saved their asses so many times. I've seen them on the floor unconscious at least twice. All of them.
Alright then. Well, perhaps when we find a good time, we could let them all know. I'm sure I've got much to explain that no one else really even knows what I'm doing here, of course. Anyways, congrats on the cake, by the way.
Thank you. It was strange. I kind of liked being rainbow, but I guess it's probably for the best, right?
Yeah,
Maybe there'll be
probably.
more cake later on.
Alrighty.
Yeah, well, maybe we need to find a way to lighten the night up a bit. Shall we head back to the group?
If we can find them. By now they will have scurried off somewhere else.
Very true.
All right. So you guys return back to the group. Jakar, what are you doing as it seems a bunch of people are getting up from the tables? Are you joining Lumen? Are you heading off with Rune and Lord Ramem? It seemed like they were heading to like a sporting sort of place.
Go. I'll head over to just I'll go with Rune.
Okay. Three of you head up to the 5th floor, where Rune you have been before when you were looking for Mabel. It opens up, and you see the similar sort of courtyard with the glass dome kind of above this contained little area. And the three of you walk out. You see the absolutely shredded elf in like a short sleeve shirt, kind of looking around at people. Kind of, there's some people lifting weights, some people doing archery, axe throwing. There's a track that goes around the outside, and he is just like talking to different people. And he turns around and sees the three of you approaching. He kind of claps his hands together. He's like, "Well, we got some new participants here, don't we?"
Oh, Jesus Christ, Mr. Satan. All right. Rune will just kind of like give a side-eye glance to Jakar, but give a nod. I suppose so. I was more so just here for archery, so.
We got archery, we got all sorts of heavy lifting, but I'm the champ of all of it, so I don't think you can beat me at anything.
Well, we'll see about that.
Oh, we have a tough guy here. All right.
Oh,
Pick your poison. What do you want to get beat at?
I was here for casual shooting, but okay.
What is there?
Yeah, she's just annoyed at this point.
There's archery. I mean, there is archery off to the side if you want to go.
I know. Yeah, she's just gonna like beeline it that way. She's like, I don't want to deal with this right now. I don't want it. I don't want that smoke, as they say.
Okay. So Jakar and this elf individual, what are you gonna try and compete in?
Oh fuck. Is there an actual list, or do I? Think
There's archery, there's axe throwing, there's like weightlifting, and there's also the track that goes around.
Give me some of that axe throwing. Why not?
Okay. So you guys head over to the axe throwing thing. He's like, "Well, you seem like a hardy individual, but I doubt you can hit the spot like I can. Don't worry. I'll beat you quick enough so nobody notices what happened."
Okay. We'll see about that.
You see, he kind of goes over, and takes out a couple of different takes out these two sets of axes. One is blue, one is red. He hands you kind of the red one. He's like, "You get 3 shots. Depending on where you hit, you either get no points, 1 point, 3 points, or 5 points. Sound fair enough?"
Sounds fair.
All right. I'll let you go first then. You throw your 3, I'll throw my 3.
Okay. Jakar picks up the axe and goes forward, kind of like squaring himself up.
All right, so basically the way this works is you're like 30 feet away from a series of 2 targets. You see there are like different rings on them, kind of like it's it has like different colored rings. Obviously, the center being the 5.1. So basically, how it'll work is the actual board itself has an AC of 13. If you hit 13, or between 13 and or like 13 or 14, that means you get 1 point. Obviously, if you get it below a 13, then that's no points. 15 to 17 is 3 points. 17 to 20 or 20 or above, like 17 or above, is 5 points. So
Okay.
it's based on your attack roll basically that you're making for each one.
Mm-hmm.
He's letting you go first, so go ahead and roll me 3 attack rolls here.
I'm gonna do it recklessly.
Can you reckless on a ranged hand axe attack?
It's an attack.
Can you?
Oh wait, let me see.
Since
Oh, it's a
melee-
melee. Oh,
melee
it works. It's a
weapon.
melee weapon, so it's an
Yeah.
axe. It technically counts.
Well, melee
It's not
weapon
ranged.
attack, because you're using it as a you're using it as a ranged thing, aren't you? You know what? Fuck it. For this, we'll say you can give yourself reckless, but he can do the same thing.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, go ahead and roll 3 attacks at advantage.
Come on. Okay, good thing I got fucking advantage on this, because that's so shit. It's 11.
Okay, your first axe, you go to throw it, you kind of misjudge the distance there. It misses, unfortunately, because it has an AC of 13.
Okay, I got this. So 22 and 22.
22? Okay, so that's a 5-pointer. So you have 5 points. You have 1 more hit. So let's see here. 15, 16, 3 points. And then I said 17 or above was 20 points. Or
And
5
that's
points.
a 21.
21? Okay, so you have 10 points out of the 3 that you threw.
Big.
That's pretty decent, but you missed your first one. He kind of looks and you see the first one you missed, but the other 2, they kind of hit pretty close to the center, like almost dead center. He's like, "Oh, well, it took you a little bit to get your stride there, but I don't blame you. Just wait and see how the champ does it. I'll show you 3 bullseyes coming up. Here we go. All right." And he's going to roll. He's going to roll 3 times. You do 20. Okay, first one is a 28.
Damn!
Or no, wait, no, not 28. It added the 2 together. It would be a 20, straight 20. It added the other d20 to the roll for some reason, because I'm using the book. So that'd be 2d20. Okay. All right. That is 16. Okay. Okay. So that's 5 points. First one and third one were 5 points. Second one was 3 points. So he got a 13 points total. You got 10 points. As you watch as he just very quickly like thump, 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 just throws them rapid succession, like left, right, left. They go into it. He kind of like laughs this really hearty laugh and looks over and says, "Don't worry, you didn't have a chance of beating the champ, but we knew that from the beginning, didn't we?"
Okay, but next one. The next one.
What, you want to do a different game here?
Yeah, let's do the weightlifting one.
Weightlifting? All right, I like your style. Let's go. Rune, what are you doing? As are you just like shooting archery and just casually like trying to blow off some steam?
Yeah, that's essentially the whole reason she came up here.
Okay, you're just
Also
like shooting.
trying to keep an eye on Lord Remem because she promised she would. But
he's standing next to you. He just has his hands folded behind his back and is just watching you. As you shoot your archery, kind of hit your mark, just taking your time. He's like, "You're not bad with a bow."
well, I would hope I'm semi-decent. I've been working on it my whole life. Let's off another arrow. Just not looking back.
Where did you get your experience?
It's a family tradition. Uther.
Oh, I have been on some business trips to Uther. Fine people there.
Yeah, they are. It's just not the best at keeping a conversation moving, but she's responding.
My daughter has been led astray by this fiend. She has been twisted to make it look like I am her enemy, and that this power that she wields is the only friend she'll need.
I don't agree with how you brought her up. I don't think I'll ever approve of it. But that's at least something we can both agree on. I don't trust this. Whatever this is. I feel like I have a pretty good reason not to.
I perhaps have a proposition for you then.
Knocks another arrow, but just pauses for a second. Listening.
I am consider myself a man of elegance, of manners. I cannot begin to understand the way you do things or how you have come about to have this bestial nature. Imagine it was not by choice. But I would ask of you to, while you help yourself, also help Corley. Whether she realizes it or not, she is in a danger that I cannot protect her from anymore.
She'll just raise the bow up again and let the arrow fly. I didn't really need to make a deal with you to agree with that. That's what I was planning on doing anyway.
Well, was not finished. Normally I would not have Cordelie or any daughter of mine court someone of your table manners or where you came from. But should you help her, you are given my blessing to court her, if that is what the two of you decide.
She just drops the arrow, not drops it, but just lowers the bow at this point and raises an eyebrow as she looks back at him. Who mentioned that?
I have seen the two of you running off together, how close you stick to one another, shoulder to shoulder, sitting at the dinner table together. I saw that she came to your room to help you pick out an outfit. I noticed you're wearing one of her dresses.
Oh my god, that's so fair. That makes a lot of sense.
She just clears her throat and shakes her head, turning her face forward again. Very, very embarrassed by like that being pieced together so easily. Right.
I had traditionally planned for Quarterly to marry a man, but given the circumstances of things, I do not believe it is my place to be very picky or traditional, I guess is what the word would be.
Oh, Lord, remember, I don't think it was your place to really choose for her at all. I feel like that is what got her into this problem in the first place.
I'm a girl, dinner.
Fair enough. Yeah. If you save my daughter, you have my blessing. Turns and walks off to observe Jakar and the elf guy that are heading over to the weightlifting thing right now. Is everybody good to keep going for like another 30 minutes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good as well.
Okay. Lumen, you are led up to the it would be the 4th floor, I believe, where the gambling dens are. And I believe it was just you and Mabel was leading you up there. She's very quiet in the elevator ride and leading you up there. Doesn't really say anything. It's a little bit awkward, but like I said, you kind of saw that there was something else going on with other members of your group. You're not entirely sure what's going on, but the door opens to the kind of gently filled, smoky, kind of dim lit floor, and she leads the way.
Yeah, he doesn't know who she is, right?
Um,
She wasn't pictured in the estate, right? That was someone else.
no, that was a human woman.
Yeah.
So
He
you're
wouldn't
not
have any idea.
you saw that it seemed like she was having some sort of heated discussion with Lord Remem and Quarterly, but you don't entirely know who exactly she is. There wasn't a lot of words exchanged when you were at the table. He continues. She as the elevator is going up, she kind of like, without looking at you, she speaks. She says, the whole reason I joined this organization was to get out of another deal I made.
Is that something you would be willing to share? That seems kind of an extreme.
Well, the
You
whole
know what you're
purpose was,
getting yourself into here.
I do know what I've gotten myself into. The whole point of me joining was to get in the good graces with the higher ups as quickly as possible and see if there was a means, some sort of magical means that they could, sever such ties. I have spoken with Glenn. He has implied that should I bring him your head, that would be enough. She kind of like turns, looks at you over her shoulder. Of course, that was before you showed up on our doorstep.
And you still intend to follow that avenue through?
Of course, once we are out of the Jade Coast, all bets are off. You are my quickest ticket to living a normal life.
Well, I can say I certainly am not going to relinquish my head so easily. You were you were talking with couple other of my traveling companions, current traveling companions. Quarterly and Rune.
Yes. I am tied to the same Lady of the Hells that Quarterly is. Specifically the one of the fourth layer. I call her the Lady of the Fourth.
Quarterly is Packt.
She's
Yes.
exposing me.
Oh, she
my
fucking hates
God.
you, dude. She don't give a shit.
And she hates me just because of me, mother. She doesn't even know me. Fair. That's fair.
So you intend to sever your own ties?
By any means necessary.
Well, I hope you find what you're looking for then. At least tonight, and enjoy some games. If you intend to play, I'd be very interested to see how you handle yourself.
I'm playing simply because Glenn wants me to play. I have no interest in gambling.
I think that's for the best.
I've seen what it does to people.
Focused on a goal. Looking to get there as quickly and cleanly as possible.
She kind of nods, and like as she said, I've seen what it does to people. She kind of looks back to you. It's kind of implying that she's talking about you and like your predicament. But the door opens and she leads you to a sort of VIP area, heavily guarded. There's as these like much larger wooden, almost like golem-sized statues are like protecting the entrance to this further back area. As they see her coming, they don't even like stop her. They just step aside and she walks on through. You're led into a much more like, it's still dimly lit, but it is much more lavish than the other sort of gambling tables and whatnot that you saw out there. You see as she kind of leads you through a series of hallways until eventually you reach a room with a singular door. The window is kind of one of those blurry kind of windows. You can't see beyond it, besides like a little bit of light blobs. She opens it up, walks in, and you see just a very nondescript gambling table with a singular kind of magical like light orb floating above it. And sitting at the table facing the door as you enter are the two people you saw in the vision. A red tiefling dressed in like a kind of heavy, lavish red coat. Kind of gives a sly smile as you enter. And a half-orc kind of woman, seems to have some drow features as well to her, that is just covered in like these intricate kind of tattoos. She has like a very large hood kind of pulled over her face at the moment. So you could see like purples and like web-like designs on it. That doesn't even look up when you enter, but you can see the bottom like of her mouth as she's just kind of like looking at the table. You can see like the tattoos of Shaltha.
Before he enters, he's gonna cast something.
Okay.
Like this might be a big waste, or might be dumb. He's gonna cast Enhance Ability on himself. He's gonna do Cat's Grace, do Dexterity.
Okay. You enter in. Mabel kind of sits down across the way from you, leaving a space for Glenn. You imagine is going to be joining you. Steadfast kind of looks and he's like, Lumen Evenfold. I doubt you even remember our last exchange. It was so quick I didn't even realize what had happened until you were gone.
You would have the right of it. I know you from different means now. But our original encounter, I apologize, I would not have much recollection.
Down quite a bit of money, a little bit of honor, and now down a bodyguard as well, it seems. All thanks to you.
I apologize for that. You picked the wrong place to instigate a fight. the treasurer was definitely pleased that we cleaned him up fast. So
I'm sure the treasurer would be, seeing as how he's the one that told me to send him after you here. It's all a test. No, curious how you didn't realize that.
well, good thing I was with the patriot at the time.
So he didn't just get to see what you were capable of, he saw your friend's abilities as well.
One of them, yes.
Interesting.
I think that was the turning tides there. I think it would have been a disappointing outcome if he wasn't there.
Well, I'm sure the treasurer would have held up his sort of end if things got messy. He probably would have stepped in and taken care of them. He doesn't intend for you to die here. He's made that very clear to all of us.
I certainly picked that up as well.
Well, do you happen to know where he is? I assumed he was with you initially.
Lost track of him, unfortunately. Sure he'd be joining. This definitely
Sure.
seems like the place to be.
I'm sure he will soon enough. You see, he's like leaning back in his chair and he's just like tapping like a looks to be like a chip or like dice or something on the table, just kind of like very casual. Doesn't seem like super crazy or like angry. You kind of glance over at Shalfa. She is just like you just see these like piercing like red eyes from underneath the hood. She's just like glaring at you the whole time. You look over at Mabel and she is just like sat in the seat, hands kind of in her lap, just looking beyond everybody. Seems like almost like a mediator at this point. Like just kind of
And Lumen's never met uh, the other one before. Chopper.
um you no, you haven't. The thing with Steadfast, now that he kind of says it, it was very quick like exchange. It was just a very like quick game, but you managed to fool him pretty good essentially and get a sizable amount out of it. The Shafa, you've never, as far as you remember, have never had a interaction with her.
I seem to recognize you from past events. You were a Chopper. Is your name?
You're talking to her, saying you don't recognize her.
From previous events. He doesn't recognize her.
No, you don't.
Oh no, he's saying that to her.
No.
I don't recognize you from previous events. Your name is Shoppa, right?
Kind of looks up a little bit at that and just looks to you. You would not recognize me. You don't know me, but you know my people. You swindled many of Lot's children, and I am here on their behalf to ensure that that never happens again.
Well, you picked a good time to show because I am going to show you on above boards tonight. We'll have some honorable games. See who comes out on top.
Are you trying to lie to her?
100%.
Go ahead and make a deception check.
Boy.
Well,
12. Give me 1 second. Open her stat block. Okay. He just kind of nods and says, "A welcome change, maybe for the others, but it will not save you."
Not looking to be saved. Just be a little bit farther ahead each time. That's all I ask for.
Kind of steadfast laughs at that. He was like, "Goodness, I see why the big old snake up in the sky chose you. You are ever the optimist. A little annoying in some aspects, but I gotta respect it too."
Facing a strange high, I guess. You know, they always talk about when a blacksmith is forging his weapons, constantly looking into those sparks. So fleeting. That's what I'm chasing after, just those sparks.
Funny way of putting it. I can kind of relate, I guess. So, in the meantime, we get some service in here. Somebody, please. My mouth's dry. You can see the door like open 30 seconds later, and a wooden statue person comes in with like a couple drinks, sets it down for everybody. In the meantime, Quarterly, you're dancing with Glenn. Is there anything in particular that you're trying to say to him or glean?
Yeah, I think first they would just have like a little bit of small talk, and just while dancing, she'd just be like, "So, if you don't mind me asking, how do you and Lumen know each other?"
Well, that is easy enough. Lumen swindled quite a number of people from my organization. Now we are out to kill him. Let's have an example.
Oh, you seemed pretty friendly.
Oh, I can assure you I am. It is like I told Lumen and I told his friend Jakar, I believe it was. It is not. I do not hate him. I do not want him. I do not want to see him suffer. I am the treasurer of an organization, so I need to ensure that the organization is upheld. Else, what sort of treasurer would I be?
So how come you have not ended it already?
What do you mean?
Well, you are out to kill him, but you don't want to see him suffer. That makes it sound like you just want to make it fast and easy.
I mean, I am not one to get my hands dirty. I mean, I suppose I could come and fight your little group, but as I explained to him as well, it's also sort of part of the game. I mean, it's one big game for me. It might be a little bit more personal. It might be a little bit more personal for the people up there now that are getting ready to play a game with him, but it's just a game to me. Cat and mouse, if you will.
But does that mean you are a chess piece within the game, or are you the game master? What
Oh, please,
role?
I don't really like metaphors. They're used by people that try to seem a lot more intelligent than they actually are. No, I'm just the treasurer of the organization. He swindled us, and now he has to die as an example. But I just see it as a little bit of fun. Yeah, that's it. That's really all there is to it. It's quite simple.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Maddie's comment. He literally did.
Yeah. No, he used a simile. He said, like a game of cat and mouse. That's a simile. He loves similes. He
counts the
hates
coins.
metaphors.
He just counts the number. Yeah.
Okay,
He's a number cruncher.
let me rephrase my question. Why is he still alive? Because you are having fun to keep him alive?
No, it is just a matter of how many people are tracking him down and how good they are at tracking. I mean, I can assure you, you guys have made quite little blunders stumbling in here.
Yeah, about that. You invited us.
I did not, which is the funny thing.
And you have no idea who invited us. I mean, I don't think you just give out these invitations like candy, do you?
No, no, I don't. I am not too sure who invited you, but whoever it was, they've also gotten the drop on us as well. I just assumed it was somebody that Lumen was close to, or Lumen himself.
Quite the opposite. It was quite a strange approach, that invitation, when it was given to us.
And Druvenlow, right?
Yeah, it was just a normal looking older man approaching us out of nowhere with a prophecy and an invitation.
Well, that's a little bit foreboding.
A little bit.
Oh, I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm going to look into it, obviously, but I have no clue right now, which is something to be said about that. Usually I have a hand in everything. But, no, like I said, you guys made quite a blunder. I'll be very honest with you, Mrs. Uttermem. We know you all came from Juvenlode. That is where you're going to be going back to. So everyone is going to be heading in that direction to try and cut you off.
Uh-oh.
So do I understand correctly? You just like to see who of your people is best and who catches him first?
I mean, it's a little bit like that, but it's also like, I don't want to do everything by myself. Are you saying you want me to go and fight you guys and do it personally? Is that what you're asking? Because I mean,
Oh. No, I'm just trying to understand. That's all. I mean, who am I to tell you what to do anyway? So who am I to express wishes of what you should and shouldn't do? Just curiosity.
no, I just that is sort of how things go. You think of it like a general. You know, sure, the general is very skilled in what he does, but he is not going to take on the enemy alone or be at every battle. It's people to do things for him. He cannot be in every place at once.
Absolutely. I mean, what do you have all these riches and skilled people under you if you cannot use them, right?
I mean, yes. I could talk to Lumen if he wants to settle this one-on-one, or you guys versus me. Perhaps that could be arranged.
A duel is what you're offering. A duel between you and us? Why us? I mean, as much as I enjoyed Lumen's company and as much as I care for him, what is our position
Well,
in this whole ordeal?
you all were not invited here. You stumbled into this place, and you're helping somebody that is on the run from our organization. So, as I told Jakar and Lumen, that also lumps you all of you, into it as well.
Oh. So his debt is our debt, is what you're saying?
Indeed. And as I told him, it's hard to put a price on it, but we sort of decided that 10,000 gold would be more or less a reasonable sum to be paid, or something equivalent to it. Um,
And
or
the
he can.
deadline?
I'm sorry. Oh, the deadline?
The deadline is until he dies?
Uh, Pretty much. Kind of smiles. I do apologize, Mrs. Vermem. I don't mean to treat life and death as such a trivial thing, but the truth is, I've been dealing in this business for a very long time, very, very long time, and I have dealt with people like Lumen before. Not as many people that has been as interesting or as unpredictable as him, though.
What do you mean by unpredictable?
Well, I mean, he cut ties with everybody. He was going off of the grid, and then all of a sudden he pops back up in Uthadern and has a whole group at his beck and whim. It was, I don't know what he promised all of you, but it was quite interesting achievement to be told. He's very, very clever.
Sounds like he is a person that would let people down easily and run away to do his own thing. Sell them off, even.
I don't know that much about him. I mean, he has tricked us quite a bit. I don't know how he is outside of business. He seems all right to me.
Well, I mean, you have quite the impressive people, so it really does sound like the only way out of a debt like that would be selling your soul, right?
You,
She's
You're
like
talking about
joking,
him?
like laughing.
Like if he were to try and sell his soul to who? To
Oh
me?
no, I mean, it was my apologies, you don't like metaphors. It was more of a joke, you know. Like
No, I
it
mean,
seems pretty impossible to get out of that situation with.
are you talking about like a higher being and stuff? No. I mean, that's exactly what your acquaintance Mabel is doing. She is here to look for a way to sever the that which binds her.
Oh, what way could there possibly be to
Oh, there are ways
buy it
for
back?
sure. No, I mean it goes back as long as it is a tale as old as time. There are ways. You just need to know the right people and work hard enough for it. Gives you like a smile again.
I mean, she seems like she got a lot of work done already for herself.
Indeed, she is quite the prodigy.
Well,
Are you sort of? Am I picking up what you're putting down here? Are you saying you're wanting to like turn Lumen into us so that you can cut your own ties? Is that what you're beating around the bush about?
No,
Because that
no,
wouldn't
no, no.
really be
I'm
much
not.
fun for anybody involved. That would be a really messy sort of drama. I don't really like drama. I don't know if I told you that, but
No. I genuinely just wanted to have a nice conversation, maybe get to know a little bit more the people that I'm traveling with, and have a nice little dance. You know, that's I think you are thinking a little bit too much into my words.
okay, fair enough.
Well, but I'm very grateful for this whole party, and even though the invitation has not come for you, you are quite the host. It's been a lovely evening so far, and I obviously have taken enough of your time. You know, the other guests should also have a piece of the cake.
Right?
I'm
No.
grateful.
I have a game to get to. I mean, you're welcome to join me as well if you'd like.
I mean, how could I say no? Games are fun.
Brilliant. Well, let us be on our way then.
Oh, thank you. And I would just follow him, I guess.
Wait, Bacon. That's a picture of you.
Yeah.
There's
That
no
fucking killed
way.
me. That's so fucking good. Oh my god. I fucking
Wait, that's a
believe
real
you.
picture?
There's no way that's
Play
you in
a
high
D&D
school.
character with that as the avatar.
That's not high school. You're not in high school in that photo.
That's I was in high school when I was okay. Look, I went to university at 15, so
Oh,
there you go.
okay.
Goodness.
That makes more sense then.
Wait, what? Are you like a genie?
Yeah, I'm
Aladdin.
the genie from
Yes,
Aladdin.
That's amazing. I thought that was AI generated.
No.
Alright, well, people watching this are gonna have no fucking clue what's going on, and I'm certainly not gonna show them, but as Cordelie and Glenn head up to join the table with Mabel, Steadfast, Shaltha, and Lumen, having an interesting game that's gonna unfold. Jakar and Rune competing in competitions of strength and dexterity and awkward conversations with future father-in-laws. And Calda and Agar reel from the information that they just were told. And that is where we'll end our session for the day.
Yeah. Dude, you know the DM's cooking when there's going to be an entire session where we're going to have to explain to each other everything that's been going on.
Yeah, I was
Because
like,
we
I was
have
like,
no
I was like,
fucking clue.
yeah, I could build everything up a little by little over time. I was like, or I could just throw it all in one big social
Do
encounter.
it
That makes it
all.
easier for me, you know.
I mean, I love how Glenn also just did not give a fuck about telling me everything. And so
Oh
did
no,
people.
he's cocky as shit. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like, yeah, here's how it
We
is.
just got fucking exposed, like, out of nowhere.
You say that, but we're like the same
You're gonna know
way.
anyway, like, eventually. Like, yeah, why not? I'll tell you.
We're like
True,
the biggest
Edward,
group
tell
of
them
overshares. Like all of us are doing it.
It's gonna be really fun, and we haven't even gotten into Jakar and Runes shit yet. Like that is like a separate thing that is gonna happen. That's
Good.
no, it's Jakar
Very-
and Rune
very
stuff.
good.
It's not just Rune stuff. Trust me.
okay.
Oh boy.
All right, well, I will see you guys.
Okay, I'm now no longer Aglar, and I am Aragon. So you can all refer to me that way instead.
I'm
Yeah,
Legolas, I guess.
Calda is Frodo.
Default.
We got Legolas. There we go.
Yeah.
What is Quarterly?
Quarterly
I
is
don't know.
Boromir. She just wants the power and then gets killed.
Yeah.
It was
Boromir. Boromir dies in like the first movie.
He's the one. I posted a gif of him
I want to
earlier
be
when.
Gimli just to be good.
Damn, you spoiled the movie to me that I'll probably never watch. That's so.
Yeah.
You've never
He's the one-
seen Lord of the Rings? Get the
This
fuck
guy's
out of here.
Boromir.
You need to
I
see
fell
them.
asleep. I fell asleep. I tried like 4 or 5 times. I fell asleep every single time.
It's so good. You need to watch
There you
them. They're
It's
so
not
good.
even. It's not because it's bad. It's just.
You know what? You just sealed your fate. We're gonna have a watch party one day, like we did forever
For
ago.
3.5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, like
oh,
10.
yeah.
You need to watch all
Oh,
3.
extended cut. So it's like
Yeah,
10.
Alrighty, well, I will see you guys later. Take it easy. See you next time.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye-bye.